Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the InGear Motorsport live stream. You're joining us for the next round of our Italian GT3 racing series, the Winter Series. And you also join us as most of us that are competing are entering our third lockdown now. So lots of close racing last time, though. Charlotte, what are your expectations for this evening?
Yeah, it was really different last time, wasn't it? Because Chrissy Palmer just completely dominated. Considering he was unhappy that it was raining, he's not necessarily that settled in the car. He sort of smashed it out of the park. So got high hopes.
Yeah, really strong races. Yeah. I mean, it was 28 seconds, something like that, win in the first of the two races that you had last time, which was good. You know, Chrissy's had a lot of bad luck in some of the previous series, got took out in the Porsche Cup at Catalonia on the last lap, among many other things. So it's nice to see him get off to a good start with this campaign.
Yeah.
One of the few teams that we have, so this is the InGear Motorsport live stream, but we actually have a couple of cars competing in there as well. So Chrissy is one of the InGear Motorsport drivers. Jack Taylor's returned for tonight as well, so he's back on. Limited testing, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he has to do for the rest of the evening.
I mean, will he spin on the last lap?
Hopefully
last
not.
Time.
That was the cause last time.
Yeah.
It was Jack's spin, wasn't it? But he was getting quicker and quicker when he was on and building up momentum, so that's good to see. I think we had a new player, Andy, joined tonight. Yet to see his last name when he joins the game. We'll find that one out. But for everyone watching, if you've not joined one of our live streams before, we've got two 30-minute races coming up tonight. So we'll take a quick look at the timetables, and then you can get a bit of an idea what's happening when, and then we'll be heading into the first qualifying session of the evening very, very shortly. As I say, it's two 30-minute races, a 15-minute qualifying session. So the drivers get an opportunity to qualify and test for each. You can join along in chat as well. I can see actually Lenny's joined on chat and said hello, so good to see. But yeah, qualifying one coming up any minute now. Drivers will just be starting that. And I've just noticed, you can see the little in-game feed. It is currently raining at the moment. It's the first time that I've seen rain at Monza in the whole week building up to this, but we'll get into that shortly.
But that happened last time as well, though, didn't it? It wasn't raining at all in any of the testing, and then on the 9th, it was raining last week or 2 weeks ago now, and I think it made such a difference to the racing. So yeah, I'm happy about that, as you can probably tell.
And Chrissy wasn't initially when he found out it was raining, but then obviously went on to have a really good win.
Yeah, so he was fuming, wasn't he, to start off with? So.
But yeah, as you can see there, that's coming up first. The drivers have a short break, which is on the screen as official practice, where they can go out and practice and test, or they can just take 10 minutes to have a little breather. We'll divulge into what happened in race one and sort of recap it, and then we'll head on into qualifying two around 8:30, and then race two starts 8:50, and then we're wrapping things up around 9:30 this evening. Now, before we do dive into qualifying, one important thing to remember: everyone watching can have an influence over the Drivers' Championship. The Driver of the Day vote can be cast by everyone in chat towards the end of the second race. All you have to do is comment your driver's name of choice, and then the winning driver with the most votes will get an extra championship point. They get quite close at times, you know, so it could make all the difference. Currently, between first and second, it's 8 points between Chrissy and Dom Stillman, but that's after just one track, 2 races, so still very much to play for. But let's dive into qualifying then, as I can see. Dive in. I just saw a rather sideways car for a second there, but there we go.
We have forgot to say Happy New Year to everyone. I mean, obviously it's a very strange start to the new year, but we'll make the most of it.
I didn't actually catch any of that because I just deafened myself.
Oh, I was just saying Happy New Year to everyone, you know, doing the polite thing.
Yeah, Happy New Year, welcome back. So if you are watching in chat, give us a hello, let us know who's there. In fact, I can see Paulina's there, so hello Paulina, Happy New Year to you. Good to see you're still sticking with us. And yeah, we can see the different chats around whether you're watching on Twitch, Facebook or YouTube. So do say hello and let us know what's going on. But we can see then the weather is not looking too great at the moment. We're 5 minutes into qualifying, and as always, actually, only a small number of drivers have actually set a lap time. The first 5 have set a lap time, and then the rest of the drivers yet to set a lap. Now, the reason that happens is you can't go a little bit off track at all during your qualifying laps, because the game just invalidates your lap, as it would do in the real world if the officials saw it. So the drivers have to do a nice clean lap as well as a fast lap to make the most out of it. But nice busy grid, 27 cars. There's around 15 drivers signed up to the actual championship, have their points registered, which count towards the ongoing championship side of things, and then a few other public members that drive and join the server on the night. So, Charlie, who are you rooting for tonight? What are you expecting? Are you excited for Monza? Tell us a bit about it.
Well, we know that Neil Kidd doesn't like Monza, do we?
That's a good point.
So just throwing that one out there, but I actually think he'll do pretty well, especially if it's raining. He seems to just manage to chip away at it. Had a good result last week. I think he got a what did he get? I think he got a 4th in the first race, and then a 7th in the second race. So it was a really solid sort of first opening 2 rounds for him last week. So yeah, I'm expecting. I don't think he'll like it or enjoy it that much, but I think he'll do pretty well there. I think Stallman will be back on form. There's no way that he's not been all over this over the last week and testing ready for this one after Chrissy taking doubles there.
Yeah, you know, the clinical German driver always you know, gets the laps in right at the last second usually in qualifying, and yeah, I think you're bang on. He'll have been trying hard to make sure he's fit, and not too sure if we've seen him around here at Monza before, thinking about it, because it's a long time since we as InGear Motorsport have actually done a race here. So it'll be interesting to see. Oh no, actually thinking about it, we did do
we've been here
a GT4 race here. Yeah, although I feel like that might have been the one that he missed, but I can't remember 100% for sure. As we see Dominic Stallman pull over to the side of the track, currently the fastest man on the track, 1/10 up the road. You then have Muxker after that, Gronkowski after that in the BMW. So we've got a Ferrari, a Mercedes, a BMW on the grid so far. All the drivers that are competing in the actual series towards the ongoing standings, they are driving Italian cars. So you'll see quite a lot of Italian cars on the grids, the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis, but there will be a mix of a couple others thrown in there as well. Ferrari's quite a confident car around here, and in fact, Chrissy Palmer's just crossing the line to start a flying lap. So I think we should jump on board and go and check out what Monza looks like from a driver's eye view. And good time to say Happy New Year also to our race director in the background.
Yeah, joined by Ben Meeker again in the background. He's looking after all the cameras for us. He's also keeping an eye on what the guys are up to out there. So if anyone misbehaves, he's the one that can make the decision whether to kick them out or give them a penalty or whatever it may be. He's kind of like God, really.
He is, as far as this game's concerned. He can issue penalties, kick people out of the server if they misbehave, do whatever he likes. Hello to Liam Sharman as well. Liam, I don't know why you're not in the game, my friend. Love to have you on, love having you on the chat, but you should be in here racing. He's watching over on Facebook.
Cool. So, sorry, yeah, I was just going to butt in there. Have you spoken to Chrissy at all this week? Do you know how he's been getting on? What's the score there?
Well, he's been doing a lot of drifting stuff this week, I've seen. So he's been testing at different Assetto Corsa drifting games. And he has, as he gets a bit sideways going through a sky chicane, he has been on Monza and done some practice, but it was about a week ago that I last saw. He's probably been on a little bit since then. But that was all dry testing, so I think just like last time, he's probably had limited running in the dry, and just noticed Curran's up into 3rd in the Lamborghini that he has. He's pretty looking a little bit sideways there. I think
that drifting practice come in handy.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling that Chrissy may have raced him real well before.
Entirely possible. It's quite a popular circuit, Monza, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a feeling.
Oh, decides to stop just before the entry. Again.
If we jump on board with Curran, Michael Curran, hopefully we're not going to jinx him here, but he's been going really, really well the last few races that we've done. He struggled with a little bit of bad luck as well, but his outright pace has been pretty strong the whole way through. So I'm expecting, as long as he can keep himself out of trouble, and I think this is where this track, it is about keeping himself out of trouble, especially on the first lap going into those 3 chicanes that you've got, especially the first one.
Yeah, it's such a tight corner. It's so easy to everyone just bunch up and have little bits of contact here and there. But Yeah, so we see Curran at the moment going through Curva Grande, starting the next lap, and you can see in the top left next to the lap time that it's green at the moment. That means he's currently faster than he has been on his previous laps. And good start to this lap then so far in his Lamborghini powered machine. Takes a little bit of gravel on the way out, but still seems to be hanging in that green section for the time being. Into Lesmo 1 then, we're sort of approaching halfway around the lap. Too fast, slightly banked in corners, a little bit of oversteer there. And then we get on the brakes and then turn into Lesmo 2. You can use a little bit of curve there in the dry. The wet just depends a little bit on car and conditions. Then the big long run up the back straight. You go under the bridge in a second that houses some of the old original big banked oval circuit of Monza. A big concrete bridge, big banked oval section of the track.
Which is very difficult to get down once you've climbed up it. We've been fortunate enough that we've worked on a very, very cool event for AMG. It was a Martini Williams event at the time, wasn't it? So super, super privileged with that. And yeah, got to go around to a fair bit of time on the bank and the history and the rest of the game. Yeah, pretty cool place, isn't it?
Yeah, mega track, and one of the oldest tracks as well in the world. Monza, 1922 it opened. So there's not many older than that. Brooklands is obviously the first at 1907. So Indianapolis, I think, after that, and then Monza. So yeah, literally one of the first few actual proper purpose-built racetracks. A bit different in its modern state, but still an awesome place.
Yeah, like I think it's so cool when you go there. The fans are so passionate, and it's just like a very cool environment to be around, isn't it?
Well, we know why Sharman's not here tonight. He's at work, so I think that's a reasonable excuse.
Yeah. Clearly doing lots of work while he's watching this and listening.
Yeah.
Listening to us. Yeah. Let's have a look at the timings then. Good to see Clinton back. He hasn't just caught my eye there. He hasn't been in for the last few races, has he? So he's in this time.
We did do the last one, but that was for the first time in a while. So
yeah. Brain's gone.
Yeah, no, he was there. So yeah, he's in this time, not taking part in the actual series as such, but joining the race. So at the moment then, at the top of the standings on our very pixelated screen that we have on our commentary feed. In fact, I'm just going to bring it up and I can see then properly that S. Brown is currently on pole in an AMG. You've got Muxka in an AMG in second, and then first of the guys competing for the series tonight, Dominic Stallman in P3 currently as it stands. Zim in fourth, Roland Stallman is in fifth, Curran in sixth. So
that's a bit more like it for our Stallman. So Roland, he's been a little bit out of place for the first 2 rounds of last week.
Yeah, and I think he's struggled to get the testing in a little bit. I think potentially on previous races, and that makes such a difference in this game. You've got to be able to get the time to get the laps in. Hence why I think Christopher Palmer is struggling a tiny bit. Current championship leader, down in 6th at the moment. I know, has he just changed? Just dropped to 10th at the moment. But that's where he's not done much wet weather driving. How's Jack Taylor doing as well? He's down in 18th at the minute. Gillick has made it in though, so one of the other West Midlands drivers, Kurt Heath and Gillick. So Gillick down 22nd. I haven't seen John Kidd until, yeah, there he is, on 16th at the moment as well. Good. All right. Well, let's get back to seeing what it's like from the driver's eye view as we hurtle around the track. I'll be interested to see what Chrissy pulls out of the bag. He's 1.9 down at the moment. I think I know from practicing with him in the drives, we tend to sort of follow each other around a little bit. That the Ferrari was set up quite pointy on the front, which is great in the drive, but probably causing a bit of hassle in the rain as we saw he's going quite sideways through the parabolic in the final turn of the lap.
It does. It's very hard to tell because again we can see what you guys can see. But I was going to say it looks like it's drying out a tiny bit, but then you can actually see on the windscreen, and that's how realistic this game is. That you can see some more drops coming down. So I think it's, and this is when it gets really difficult. You know, if it's iffy kind of weather and it's kind of swinging one way and very quickly going the other, that's when it's very, very difficult to set a car up because it's almost a bit of a gamble at that point as to which way you go with it. Isn't it? It's a tricky one.
Yeah, particularly when it's not just absolute torrential rain, it's kind of somewhere in the middle. It's definitely wet at the moment, but just perhaps could be. There's not a huge amount of standing water by the looks of it, so the tyres can easily overheat. So you're managing pressures as well as the overall balance of the car. Another thing to bear in mind, we always love to encourage people watching to share a cheesy joke. I did put a post out on Facebook earlier, and I've had one already, which was from George. George said, "What do you call a deer with no eyes?"
No idea.
No idea.
That's terrible.
I know. I feel like that's cheesy even for a cheesy joke.
I don't think it's even cheesy. It's just obvious.
Do you know what you call a deer with no eyes and no legs?
Still no idea.
Still no idea. There you go. Right, it looks like the qualifying session is coming to an end, but the drivers do get to finish off their laps, which it looks like there's a number of them still doing. It's only the ones with the P next to their name that are actually in the pits. Everyone else is still finishing off their laps. You can see the Vegas Sim Performance car of Roland Stallman going through the screen there. Car number 5, currently in P6. Excuse me. So the drivers do get to finish their laps off. And then we'll see if the orders change in a couple of minutes. But we will just quickly jump to our Discord ad, and then we'll be with you in a few months' time. Welcome everybody then to round number 3 of our Italian GT3 Championship. It's the Winter Series and it's raining once again, so quite aptly named so far. Drivers just finished qualifying, final preparations before they start. So we'll go through the grid order quickly and have a look and see who is where. But on the front row then, Dominic Stormer didn't quite hang on to pole. He got pipped there by S. Brown right at the last second in a Mercedes AMG. So that's your front row, and then you've got Gronkowski in a BMW in P3, which is nice to see a mix of different manufacturers, actually. Zim in 4th, Roland Stallman, the other Vegas Sim Performance driver, in 5th, which is a really strong effort from him. Then you've got Michael Curran down in 6th place, Wagnara in 7th, Pico in 8th, Clinton in 9th, Chrissy Palmer in 10th. So a bit out of position for him. Keep an eye out for him in the race, because he does usually race quite well. Heath for West Midlands in 11th, Murray in 12th, who's just dropped out of the server, it would seem. So Price now in 12th. Pauline will be cheering for that one. Pratt's down in 13th. John Kidd in 14th. Sam in 15th. Taylor in 16th. Schmittman in 17th. Fitchin 18th. Mottonen in 19th. Gillick in 20th. Sickles in 21st. Bedeur in 22nd. And Romanaro 23rd. Ross Keller in 24th place in the Jaguar. And then the last round out of the back row, I'm not even going to attempt to say all capitals NGUBU. That's a cover that's joined last minute, and Simonet rounds out the grid, and a Lexus. What a lot of Italian cars, but the pubbers that have joined have come in a bit of a mix. But anyway, the drivers are about to start, so let's get ourselves ready to rock and roll.
Just noticed no Neil Kidd.
I think he might have just dropped out as well. I'm not sure. I thought he was coming on, but there we go. So we've potentially a couple of regulars down, but we've got Danny Price with us for the evening, it would seem. So the drivers can kind of go through each other's car at this point in time, but it's only very briefly at this point. And then once they get the green light, everyone is racing with full contact, so they don't want to touch each other, which in these wet conditions is easier said than done. So the car with the massive Italian flag on its roof is the Scottish driver Michael Curran. So he's made a nice custom livery for the Italian Championship. Got on the front row then. Dominic Stallman then chasing down, see if he can get a good start. Great start by Curran. You can see that Italian flag on the roof closing in on the cars ahead. Chrissy Palmer, championship leader, the bright orange car, going just behind that free abreast pack, heading into turn one. He's just behind him then on there. But free abreast into turn one at Monza is never a good idea. You can see a car go fly up the inside. Luckily, that purple AMG got stopped. That's either People or Baganara, I'm not quite sure. It looks like Chrissy gets a little bit tangled up there. I was too busy watching the lead 3 or 4 there, but we'll see if we can figure out what happened on that one. Did you see?
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult on the screen, but we'll try and have a look back if we can. But yeah, a car just overshot going into the chicane and just pretty much wiped Chrissy out. I think Chrissy will be okay. I think he might have a little bit of damage on the side of the car, but I don't think it's going to be anything too traumatic.
Yeah, and it looks like as well that Dom Stallman's dropped down to 4th after the start of that, so he's lost 2 places in the start. Curran's gained himself a place, and Roland Stallman hung on to position from where he qualified for the time being, who's the sort of white and greyish coloured car that you can see the camera sort of following now behind the Italian flag Curran. But let's just keep a look at the front 2 or 3 and see what happened with that all of there, because I can't quite make it out on the cameras that we see. We see what you see. So it was in a Jaguar that got the best start, closely followed by Brown, who was the pole man, and then Bagnara in another AMG in 3rd place. It was racing number 74, actually, which is what I raced with on in-game. But I'm not. I'm here commentating.
Here you are. That was fairly... I was expecting a little bit more drama than that. I think we should just check in with the bottom half of the grid. So if we can get down to see where Danny Price is, see where he got through and if he made it through unscathed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not running a Shiba garage again either, which is odd.
Jack Taylor though. So Jack qualified in P18, I think he was, and he's moved all the way up into P12. So, yeah, good effort by Jack there.
Yeah, and you can see actually there's a whole gaggle of cars fighting for position at the moment. It looks like Chrissy's actually just behind him. So Jack's the orange and blue Ferrari. You can see the red Novitec logo on the roof as well. And then you've got Chrissy, who's in the orange and red, just behind. So Jack looks like he goes to the inside. I don't think he's going to get that stop. And takes out potentially John Kidd, I think. I think he locked up under braking. Yeah. You wouldn't have gone for a move like that. That was a big mistake, I think, on that one. Just locked up and had nowhere to go. As John Kidd turned in, Jack was already there. Yeah.
Jack's pretty good though. Jack does have little sort of incidents, and he'll get back going. He'll kind of regroup, and then he'll just carry on cracking on pretty much.
Yeah, and I've seen him before as well. Wait a long time to give a position back when he's caught somebody by accident. Yeah. So he's usually a fair driver. That will have been pure accident, that one, but I think that was John Kidd. I'm waiting for the timing screens to update.
It's a red Ferrari, wasn't it?
It looks like he's disappeared from that immediate part of the leaderboards. Again, we see what you guys see watching on the screen. So don't have the luxury of complete timing screens and everything like that at the moment. So Jack Taylor down in 19th, Chrissy Palmer down in 17th at the moment.
It's really out of position for him, isn't it?
Yeah, really unusual. I'm not quite sure what's happened there. I do know that he's got himself a new VR headset tonight, which is meant to be, an upgrade essentially. But he's trying it for the first time tonight, which is always a brave move when you get a new piece of hardware. So he's got some work to do. We're gaining 1 position, then back up into 16th, it would seem, as they round out what is only the opening couple laps still.
I know. It's all got a bit topsy-turvy, hasn't it?
And then goes a bit deep on the braking and gives that Porsche back onto the inside line there.
I don't think this is over between these two.
Yeah, I think... Oh, no. Looks like Chris is coming into the pits. Potentially picked up some damage at the start of the race. or he's had enough. I'm not sure. We'll find out. We'll see if he comes out of the pits again in a few minutes' time. But that's not a good sight to see for the current championship leader. No drop scores this time as well.
I was just going to say that it's worth reminding everyone we sometimes do drop scores, but in this championship there is no drop scores, so literally every point counts. So really important that those guys get up into the top 10. Talking of that, we're currently keeping an eye on Mr. Heath. He had a good round I think the opening round he ended up P3 in the end, didn't he? So really, really strong last week or a couple of weeks ago now. So he'll be looking to kind of claw back a couple of points there.
Yeah,
I think he's looking good.
Good to see him on the podium last time, like you say. The West Midlands driver with the Warbird painted livery, got the big grimacing mouth in the front of the car. You can see as it goes through shot. There's a couple of cars just pulling off at the side of the track there, but that will give places back. He's now gone up to 9th as a result of that. And just touching a bit of grass there, I noticed, as he went past the camera towards the Scari chicane. But yeah, good run so far, making up places, keeps going. You can see that lovely livery there. It was Sharman that spent the time on that one, who's not racing tonight, but he was there in chat earlier, supposedly working. But yeah, I think he's done such a good job of that one. It's you might always pick it up on the live streams, but there's actually little riveted bolts that he put every single one. There's hundreds of them on there, and built them into the sights. It looks really cool. But yeah, good run for Heath so far. Roland Stallman then up in 6th. Let's just take a look at the front end of the grid to see. We can see Peeper's 1/10 behind P4 currently in 5th. So we grab a look at that. It's Zim that's still out in the lead. Brown hasn't had an answer to that opening lap then that Zim had. So we're 3 laps in now, and he pulled himself out a 4-second lead. So it's 2 pummers at the moment, which that's probably some small consolation to Chrissy Palmer, seeing as they won't score points as such in the ongoing series, but they will take them away from Stallman, who would have otherwise been leading. Thought race director Ben was trying to tell me something in my ear then, but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah,
I'm having lots of static. So Zim then in the Jaguar. Don't see a lot of Jags out the front.
Nice.
It's good to see though.
It is good to see. It just looks, yeah, it's just different, isn't it? I think that's what I'm trying to get my head around with that one.
So if you're watching, oh sorry, go on.
Yeah, sorry. What I was going to say is it's worth us all keeping an eye on the gap between S Brown and Stallman, so P2 and P3. Stallman has a little bit of habit. If the opening sort of section of the race doesn't seem to go to plan, he does get an answer back to it, and he kind of lights up in the sort of the latter 2/3 of the race. So it's currently 2.7 between that at the moment. So it's worth us just keeping an eye on that to see if he does have any answers to Brown in the AMG there, car number 4. So just pointing that one out. And Curran is actually managing to bring that gap down between himself and Stallman there. So there could be a couple of battles sort of in a couple of laps time, depending on who does what.
Yeah, it's a 30-minute race. We've only just had 8 minutes gone, so just coming up to a third race distance. There's plenty yet to happen. If you're watching in chat, don't forget to get involved. Share a cheesy joke. We will read it out. Why not? Or let us know what you think of the race so far. Who do you think is going to win? And how you're finding it. And don't forget, towards the end of race 2, you can vote for the driver of the day, and the driver with the most points will get a championship point. The most votes will get a championship point towards their final standing. So, well worth coming back for race 2. If you do happen to disappear for a little bit, do come back for that. You can give your favourite driver a vote. But at the moment, then it's Zim, who isn't competing in the actual ongoing series, but is definitely dominating his race so far with a 4.2 second lead. So he's pulling away then a couple of tenths a lap over Brown at the moment. So Brown not really got an answer to that at all. Like you say, Curran closing on Stallman. So
yeah, it's looking like Stallman hasn't got any answers to Brown at the moment. He's actually just lost a 1.5 seconds. So I'm not too sure what's going on there. Heath, though, when we last looked at him, he was in P10 and he's managed to chisel his way up to P6. So really good effort by him. He'll be looking to try and maintain, or if not, claw back to even more points, because he's doing pretty well at the moment. Like I say, in 2 rounds, so he seems to have come alive a little bit more again in this championship, hasn't he? He didn't get on too well with Porsches. Even come in and jumped in and helped us on commentary.
Yeah, it wasn't a fan.
So,
Yeah, wasn't the biggest fan of it at all, but yeah, seems quite at home in the Lamborghinis, doesn't he? So I'm trying to see then where it's looking close at the moment. So Curran's just taken another 4 attempts out of Dominic Stallman. And Curran doesn't race as part of a team, but is in the series. Stallman's part of, both the Stallmans are the father and son team for Vegas Sim Performance. So long-standing contenders now, really. They've done most of the series between them. One of them's always been in at least one of the races pretty much.
It's probably good timing to talk about when InGear Motorsport started for our new viewers out there. It was actually lockdown 1 that this all started on, and as a community it's grown more and more. We're now finding ourselves in lockdown 300 and something, or a variation of it. So yeah, it's you've built up a really good community on Discord, very friendly one. You'll kind of help each other out and you'll set up and bits like that, don't you? Yeah,
everyone's really good with it, and it's still a smaller community compared to what some of the sim racing groups are that you might join, but in a way that it's quite nice and personal at the moment. Everyone, like you say, helps each other out. Everyone helps with liveries or getting setups or just having a chat. Some of the guys are in the chat boxes that we have on here at the moment right now, so we can see them in the driver's boxes. We see Jack Taylor going a little bit across the country there.
Yeah, you find this with Jack a little bit at the moment, and Jack is very, very new to sim racing, full stop, isn't he? And he's just outbreaking himself, which is so easily done at Monza, isn't it? Let's be honest, it is super easy done, but he's still going at it. He's actually got Danny Price on the back of him now, so this will start to be close. Danny's only 8 attempts off of him at the moment. Danny's got a lot more experience, hasn't he? Danny is fast. He just gets unlucky. It's not fair.
Yeah, very calculated driver as well. Yeah. He won't go for a mad lunge up the inside and stuff it up there and just pray for the best. He'll wait for Jack to make one of those mistakes that you've probably already noticed him do some of these little bits here and there, run a bit wide, and he'll just then get past nice and easy. He'll just wait for that chance. He won't risk anything too much. But yeah, these guys are racing for 14th at the moment. The points go down to 10th in the series. 27 drivers, I think 28, potentially one joined it right at the end, started this race. 21 still running at the moment, which on Monza terms in a public lobby, pretty good going actually. It's so easy to lose half the grid at turn 1 if you're not careful. Now, did we establish if Chrissy Palmer made it back out of the pit lane? That's one thing that I keep wanting to check.
No, if we just creep back down the order.
Right, so he's probably using this as a test session at the moment, and I would say as he's having a bit of a battle with Clemson. Clemson's in a Nissan, but you can see he's currently overtaking an Aston Martin, so potentially a back marker here. I can just see the blue flag waving. Look, so that's Chris coming back through the pack. Back marker, not particularly.
I was going to say that back marker is not doing anything to make that any easier. That was pure Chrissy not giving in to that one.
And in fact, it looks like he's going back at Chrissy.
So that's where Mr. Race Director will be giving him quite a stern warning with that one, because that's...
Or even penalties for ignoring blue flags.
I would... Yeah. Chow for now is what I would be saying for that one, because he's not making that easy for Chrissy at all. And I would imagine there's some explicits going on at Chrissy's house at the moment. He's driving very, very defensively.
Yeah, he'll be probably on his way out in a minute. So it's a public lobby, it's mostly for fun, but race director can kick people that aren't playing by the rules. As long as people let other fast drivers through, it's fine.
Yeah, and what's going to happen is this Aston Martin needs to get out of the way and needs to wake up very, very quickly, because we're actually going to see that you can see a massive back group of people about to come through as well. So you can see that this isn't only going to affect Chrissy now, this is going to start to affect a pretty big gaggle of cars if he doesn't sort himself out.
Yeah, so if anyone's wondering what we're talking about, basically the blue flag rule is that if a faster driver's coming around to lap you, then you need to get out of their way and not impede them. You don't have to actually massively swerve offline or anything like that, but essentially just don't hold them up. Let them pass fairly and let them go. You don't battle with them unless you suddenly find a load of time yourself. But I think I just saw a penalty being issued there. Although I'm trying to see if the Aston Martin still comes through in the background, because he did just run off track a little bit.
He did just run off, but then I saw him.
I think he's gone. Yeah, so race director's there for that reason. He's also managing the cameras in the stream, so he doesn't catch everything, but like that, when he does, he will act on it. So Chrissy Palmer then released to try and get that 3.5 second gap down to Clemson. Now, he was right on Clemson just a couple laps ago, but where he's had to basically fight past the back marker that should have been letting him through cleanly, he's still running, and he's running 3.5 seconds down. So that's cost him a lot of time.
The Aston Martin is still there. And
there we go. Now I've just seen it.
Yeah, it's gone. You can hear it from race director, not anymore.
He had to just put his can of Monster down briefly to type that one in, and now he's back. Yeah, so Chrissy will be pleased probably to see that one. Right, let's see then. So Gillick is next on the road, 4 tenths up from Chrissy as it stands, as we reach only half race distance. So we've still got half a race to go. Number of drivers out of position. That was Gillick heading off into the gravel there, and another driver just rejoining as well. So all looking a little bit chaotic at the moment, actually, out there. So Chrissy Palmer doing his best to pick off the drivers as he goes. The timing screen updates every sector of the lap. There's 3 sectors in the lap, as I think Gillick just lost the rear end there coming out onto the back straight out of Lesmo 2. Under the bridge then, into Ascari chicane. But let's go higher up the grid and see what's happening at the sharper end and see if the lever's changed at all. So still Zim in the lead, but Brown has brought the gap down a little bit then. It's now into the 3 seconds, not 4.5.
And we've lost Curran somewhere.
Yeah, we have. So yeah, we were looking at Curran about 3 laps ago, weren't we, in 4th place, catching 3rd. But that's now promoted Roland Stallman into 4th place. So this is a great point tool for Vegas in performance at the moment. Currently 3rd and 4th, the 2 Stallmans. Say the father and son team from Augsburg in Germany. But it's the Jaguar and the Mercedes AMG that are 1st and 2nd in this race at the minute. Brown pulled a few tenths back and has now lost a few tenths again. So that's looking very tit for tat, that one.
Yeah, we should...
Heath up into 5th.
Yeah, that's
jump on board with Heath.
I was just going to say, and he's only 3 tenths off of Stallman. I was looking at it, so I was trying to work out which Stallman then for a second. My eyes were playing tricks on me. Probably put my glasses on.
Then Romano in a BMW in 6th. Pieper, who was in the front end top 3 to start with, is now in 7th. And Schmidtlein in 8th. So if we could drop to Heath in 5th at the moment, please, Mr. Race Director. There he goes, look. So just under 3 tenths. Now the big grimacing warbird mouth there on number 38 of Kirk Heath. Trying to get past then 4th place of Roland Stallman as they're heading to the Parabolica then, the last corner of the lap. Why don't we enjoy this one from on board in the Lamborghini? You guys can see what they're dealing with. There's not a lot of spray at the moment, but sometimes in a wet race there's tons of spray kicked up, and you know, it really impedes visibility. Not getting the best exit off of there. In fact, he looked like he went out to the puddles to try and cool his tyres down. And that's something else they have to worry about as we're heading into the second half of the race now, or already are into it. Tyres start getting hot, and you have to be careful, because then they just lose loads of grip. Down the gears then from close to a couple 100 miles an hour in these GT3 cars, even with all that aerodynamics, shoving it into the ground from that big rear wing. And we then begin the acceleration phase around the big Curva Grande, really flat out right hand corner, feels really, really nice in the car, and then you come into the second heavy braking zone of the lap, into the second chicane. So just seeing, oh, there was a car facing the wrong way. I glanced away at the timings for a second there, and it looked like someone was facing the wrong way. I didn't catch who that was. I don't suppose you did you, Charlotte?
No, sorry.
No, that's fine. So he lost a little bit of time during that little moment there, avoiding action as a car was at the apex at the second part of the second chicane, and now has to do all that hard work again to get back up to Roland Stallman.
Yeah, from the way he's driving, I don't think it's going to take too long for him to get back up there. I think, as you were saying, tyre management's going to start to come into play at the moment. The Stallmans had to manage, if I remember correctly, their tyres it was a bit of a challenge for them in the last round that we was into, round 1 and 2 of this series. It was something that they would come up against, so they could be kind of facing the same problems, and this could start start to play into Heath's hands a little bit.
Yeah, they tend to go one way or the other. I mean, last track out at Misano, it was kind of mid-race, I think, that Dom kind of came alive. But yeah, Roland struggled quite a bit, I think, with tyres. So, okay, so I think that'll take a few laps until that one heats up again. Let's go and check out how sort of mid-pack's getting on. I know John Kidd got collected a little bit in that incident with Jack Taylor earlier on, or I'm pretty sure it was. So, in fact, they're about to have, well, maybe have round 2. There's a little bit of time between them. So, John Kidd, then the red Ferrari, the Shiba Garage car on your screen at the moment, being followed by not Jack Taylor, but that'll probably be a backmarker Porsche that he's just gone past. Just behind Danny Price. I made a joke earlier on one of the Instagram comments that you don't get Shiba Garage cars apart. They're always 2x2, and there you go. Danny Price, a Shiba Garage driver. John Kidd is a Shiba Garage driver. We don't have Neil Kidd tonight.
They need to put Noah's Ark on their livery for the next championship that they enter.
Yes, it's always 2x2 they go. Right, who's watching in chat? Let us know. All gone very quiet over there. Let us know who's watching.
So I'm having dramas with my headphones.
No problem. So heading into the braking zone for the first chicane, then John Kidd trying to find a way past this Porsche. It's not, again, I'm not seeing blue flags. So I'm not sure whether, I mean, it's entirely possible that the Porsche had a bad start, took a pit stop and is coming back through as well. But I did see a blue flag that time. So it'll be another one just to monitor and check that John Kidd's not actually loads faster being impeded. But like we saw earlier, Chrissy came up on that other car, you know, like a rocket ship, and then couldn't get past because he kept blocking.
Yeah, I think on very first glance, I think the Porsche is a chunk quicker.
Yeah, he looks like he's pulling it out.
You can see he's pulled out quite a bit in the last corner.
So that one's all good then, but good to keep an eye anyway. Jack Taylor then into 11th. Considering we saw him have those disasters and very limited practice.
He's chipped away at it, hasn't he?
He's one place off of points. Michael Curran also looking like he could get back in the points. He's in 12th at the moment. Still a little bit of a distance to put in, but you never know.
I mean, this Porsche that's in front of John Kidd at the moment, this could play into Jack Taylor's hands a little bit, close the gap up between them two, and then it'll be a battle between John Kidd and Jack Taylor. It's only 5 seconds off at the moment, so you never know. Yeah,
and like I say, then Curran could join in the gap there. Now, Bedoya, who's currently in 13th, was right at the front of the grid at the start as well, so he must have got caught up in that little tussle that we saw at turn 1. For Monza standards, it wasn't that bad, but yeah, still a few drivers did lose a number of places, so he also is very fast. So he may well be catching Curran, or Curran and him will possibly be catching Jack Taylor. I was interrupting you then, but I'm not, am I? So then, we are 11 laps into this race, 7 minutes, 23 seconds on the clock, and still the rain comes down in Italy for the third round of our Winter Series.
It's getting heavier, so it'll be interesting to see how the guys start to handle this, especially, again, depending on, they might have predicted that the car, it was going to dry out slightly, so they'd set the car up to maybe be slightly off in the first opening stages of the race with the intention that it was going to dry out, but actually the opposite is happening. So
yeah, you just don't know. And like I say, I know some drivers who are playing around the setup haven't done much weather running, don't know the track well, like Chrissy. But yeah, I guess there's a real mix of wet weather experience out there. But a few of the drivers are Scottish, as John Kidd has a nice big skid on screen for us there. One of the Scots putting his drifting skills to use. Look.
Cool. And let's check in then with the top of the grid. So Stallman's managed to put it into P2 now.
Yeah, and I noticed that gap's now 12 seconds. So I wonder if something happened with Brown that cost him and Stallman time, and Brown lost the place. Heath also down in 13 seconds off. He was quite close to that, Pat, but he has got past Roland Stallman, look, who's only 7 tenths behind him. So Heath and Roland having a good little battle tonight. But yeah, I'm curious what happened with that front part of the pack. This is where we need replays on tap the whole way through. But as I always say, yeah, we see what everyone watching this on the stream sees, so we can do our best. race director gets us around the pack. I was going to say see if Roland Stallberg can get himself past Heath, but he's actually lost a couple attempts again since, as they've gone through the next split of the lap.
Good to see Danny Price is in the points, so he's managed to drag himself back up to P8. I mean, he was down in 18th at one point at the start of this race, so he's done a good job, managed to get himself in the points and secure that for himself. Jack Taylor is now in the points, and John Kidd.
What's happened there?
What a result there. So I'm going to assume, rightly or wrongly, that something's happened to someone else and it's bumped them all up. But either way, it's really good to see regular members of the InGear Motorsport Discord server in the points, really.
Yeah, I always think the same.
Bias, who cares?
You get, and as well, you get kind of almost track specialists, I think, for them as where they join into the tracks they know that they've done thousands of laps on, and they're really, really good at that track, but they're rubbish everywhere else. And they're the ones that pop in a blistering fast lap time. In fact, we had a couple random names tonight take first and second, or not random, but ones that we haven't seen before. So, you know, it may well be the case. I'm not saying it is, but that's why over race distance, sometimes the guys chip away at it, like Danny Price coming from something like 18. Oh, what happened? The camera cut at just at the worst time. He held on to that. You saw he lost the rear end. The curb just unsettled the car. I thought he was heading into the wall there. I thought he had just got himself first class seats to the accident on the barrier, but managed to hang on to it.
For a minute there, my eyes were really playing tricks on me, and I thought he was going backwards down the track. And actually,
you're definitely tired tonight then.
Didn't Danny, like, obviously he wouldn't have intentionally done it, but didn't he get done for this? Did we see a car going the wrong way around the track?
Oh, I can't remember if that was him or not.
I can't remember the context.
No, I think it was Sharman.
It was something.
He wasn't actually going the wrong way around the track, but he got a penalty for going the wrong way around the track.
It was something really random, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that was Liam. Liam's not racing tonight. He's over on Facebook watching instead.
Yeah,
watching
slash
working.
Then.
Okay, so we are coming to the closing stage. Then a few minutes left. I think unless somebody throws it off, the top three are looking fairly settled.
Commentator's curse.
Well, two of them are pubbers.
Wow, that's true. That's true.
No, we're not. Brown's gone. We've lost Brown as well. It seems like wherever the camera goes tonight, it misses the action, whereas normally we actually give people bad luck looking at them.
Commentator's curse.
Well, it's another podium for Heath then.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a solid...
Well, I mean, 3 minutes left, but yeah.
2 thirds, so yeah, he had a third and a fifth last time out, so yeah. A third, again, would be very, very good points for him.
Yeah, good points in the series. West Midlands team doing well. Sadly, then not a good race for InGear Motorsport. Looking like we're going to be lucky to get a point or two then. Jack Taylor flying the flag. I don't know if Chrissy made his way back further through or not.
Let's drop the camera down. Let's go and see where Chrissy is, why everything's looking fairly settled-ish. I mean, he could pull something out of the bag and...
You never know.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? Stranger things have happened in the last year, so... something's obviously happened to him. Again, he struggles with a little bit of bad luck, doesn't he? He's fast as well.
Yeah.
He just gets caught up.
He has got caught up in a couple of incidents over the times we do this. It's, I mean, we say it in the real world as well, don't we? But it's racing. You know, stuff happens at least when it's in a game and it's a bit of fun like this, and you know, there's not sponsors at stake or anything like that. You can kind of just go, oh well, and come back next time.
Yeah.
But it is still frustrating in the moment. You just you get really annoyed if you get taken out or whatever it might be, particularly when it's just no fault of your own. Someone goes sailing into the back of you for no reason. As that Ferrari's looks very loose tonight. You can just see every exit squirming around. Not even just Chrissy's, even there. Bravely runs out onto the curb. Curbs are very slippy places to be in the rain, particularly sort of freshly painted ones. So it's an extra slippery surface, but makes it stick then for that time round. The leader has just started the final lap of the race, so already it's blink of an eye almost. It felt like the first half was fairly long, and then all of a sudden we're at the end of the race. So let's get back up there.
Yeah, sorry, I've got a feeling that Chrissy will do some setup changes. I can't see him. He's not going to be happy, let's be honest.
It may also be dry.
Well, that's true. That is true.
You never know.
It'd be good to see a dry race for the second round. Like, I know I always bang on that I really like wet races, but we've had 3 now, so.
Yeah, and I'm really surprised. So the way the server works in this game is that you set a value, and then the kind of server decides within that value what to do. So it's not definitive dry, rain, sun, etc. It's kind of a rough guide based on how you've set it. So it can be dry, it can be wet on the same settings is what I'm getting at, and all week it has been dry in testing, and now it's raining. So interesting to see as the Italian flag on the roof of Curran goes through Ascari chicane there, and Zim coming round to lap him at the moment. So Curran will probably be one that moves out of the way nicely. That was nearly all over for Zim there, wasn't it?
I was literally about to say as well, he hasn't put a foot wrong this whole race. Like, led from lights to flag, but...
Oh, and now Curran's potentially lost it as well. Everyone's sliding around. It's so slippy out there. Tyres are probably starting to overheat in some areas. Lost grip, lost tread. But it looks like after all that excitement, Zim takes the win. Curran will finish the lap down because he just got him towards the line there. So Curran gets to finish racing a bit earlier than if he held on to that. But yeah, Zim takes the win. And then Dominic Stallman then, currently second in the championship, about to take the championship lead with 12 points added to his name, comes in second.
And further down the grid, and I feel like if we can jump on board with Danny Price, then go down to John and Jack, I'm desperate to see if Jack is still in the top 10, because if it is, this is going to be him. And am I right in saying it's going to be John Kidd's first points finish as well?
No, he has had a couple.
So it's definitely Jack Taylor's. I think
I need to look back to the first series he did. Well done to Heath, by the way, for coming in third place. Another podium for him.
Yeah, made a job. That, I need to sit and quickly do maths, but currently with that not put him
10 points added to Heath, 0 for Chrissy, so I think that'll be enough, won't it? 28. Yeah, it will.
No.
He's on 18 plus 10. We'll maybe put him on 28.
Yeah, and Chrissy's currently got 30.
Oh, okay, sorry, yeah, I thought Chrissy was the 22. Yeah, so Dominic Stallman will be added on. So Heath will be third in the series still, just after that. Chrissy second, Dominic Stallman takes the lead.
Oh.
And we must have jinxed it because Jack Taylor just in that last lap dropped back to, I think it was 11th or something like that.
Oh, for God's sake.
That was you commentators cursed him there. I'm not taking that one.
I feel bad for that now.
I'm not taking that one. But well done to John Kidd, the highest placed Kidd tonight, the best Kidd driver that we've had in the server this evening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finishing highest. In fact, the best Kidd driver we've had all year in the InGear Motorsport races. So
I mean,
well
that's
done
the
to
best
John
race
Kidd.
we've had all year.
That is the best race we've had all year, absolutely. Even for Chrissy, who's had a nightmare, that's the best race he's had as Jack Taylor goes flat out through the first chicane after the line and probably into a wall. Yeah, here he goes. Bosh. Definitely wouldn't do that in the real world.
Oh, Jack. So, where did we end up? Just having a little look here.
Yeah, so that will update a little bit as people come in and skew itself a little bit. But yeah, a few surprises there. I mean, Jack Taylor just missing out on the last lap, as we just said. Curran from being in third place for a few laps, going all the way down to 14th. We missed that incident. I'm not quite sure what happened with that one. Chrissy obviously had a bit of a bad start, got collected a little bit at turn 1. I don't think that was the whole problem there, though. I don't think that should have cost him that big a deal, but he did come into the pit, so perhaps he had a lot of damage. He may have even decided that he wanted to get a full sessions testing with an undamaged car. We'll find all of that out in a minute, rather than limp on with a car that he knows he's not going to win the race with. So, but he did finish the race. He did come back out. I did have my concerns for a moment that was Chrissy gone for the rest of the race, but he's finished and will hopefully be back for more in the second race, which is worth you all knowing. If you're waiting to see what happens next. Well, we've got some timings for you so you can see, but basically the drivers are having a official practice / break at the moment for 10 minutes. Already we're a minute or two into that, so 10 minutes, then they will do it all again. Another qualifying for 15 minutes and another race for 30 minutes. As you can see there. And we also do this at the moment every other Tuesday, so if you do want to get involved in these races, they are free to join. Of course, it's a game of a public server. You can come in and get involved, you can join our Discord, you can help people make liveries, take pictures, whatever you want to do in the game. It's people love getting involved in different ways and helping each other out, so it's a nice community to come and get involved with. But as you can see, it's not too far off schedule actually, a few minutes behind I think, but for the most part we're about right. So practice now for 10 minutes, and then the drivers will have qualifying 2 coming up very soon. Well, I think as we just start to... Oh, I've actually just got some messages coming through from Jack Taylor. Just through 9th away after nursing his car all race. I don't know, I want to talk to Chrissy first.
Yeah, talk to Chrissy, and then we'll try and... We'll try and catch up at some point.
Sorry, I was just responding to him, and then we'll get Chrissy in the chat here. Okay, right. So we'll see what we'll think of what to ask. I want to see how he got with his headset as well. Right, here he comes. Chris Palmer coming in chat. Mr. Chris Palmer, how you doing tonight, my friend?
Hello, how are you? I'm not too bad. I could be better, obviously. Yeah.
I mean, the rain was all right last time, but looked a little bit tricky out there at the Ferrari tonight.
Yeah, I haven't really got any excuses, to be honest. I had a terrible first corner. I don't even know what happened. I got hit from somewhere, and
yeah,
that all went really wrong. Then I had a load of damage and hit the brakes, and it didn't really slow down. So I then hit someone, and I feel really bad. So whoever that was, I'm really sorry. But
okay, I thought there was another incident because I thought turn 1 looked like it. You know, it looked like you got hit, obviously. But I thought you can carry on from that. But you must have just picked up damage then.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had just over a minute's worth of damage. So I had to come in and do that. The steering wheel was all wonky and everything. But it was fun.
It didn't help with that Aston Martin being blue flagged and racing you like he was racing for first position there.
I felt a bit bad because I think he was in front of me, but I was also quicker than him, so I needed to get round him and get moving. Even though I was really far back, I don't quit, so I was still sending it. But it was still a fun race, even though I did terribly. It was still great and enjoyable.
Oh, good stuff. So I was saying a minute ago how I've seen the server only be dry the whole time. Had you had any wet testing at Monza this week or last?
No, I didn't, and then I forgot to then go back on there and do some wet testing. But to be honest, last time the wet setup was so good, I thought it would be just as good anyway. And I don't think it would be far off, but I didn't really know what to do that time, so I was sort of wet and dry setup. But we'll see what the weather's doing this time.
Slicks on one side, wets on the other type thing.
Yeah, it was a bit like that. I just took sort of a load of PSI out and hoped for the best.
I mean, we don't know whether it will even be wet for the next session or not. I can't see in the game at the minute, but is it raining in game for the practice?
Well, at the moment I can't get back into the server, so I can't actually tell you.
They might be putting it back up by the looks of it, actually.
Yeah, well, the days look like they were mixed up: Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday and Saturday again. So hopefully it'll be dry now.
Yeah, you never know. Fingers crossed. But
I hope so.
What's your expectations then if it is dry? Are you feeling confident in that sense?
I was feeling confident. We will find out in a minute. Every server I go on, I seem to get a different lap time. So we'll find out when everyone gets back in and put some lap times in, I think.
Yeah, I thought that as well, actually. Like, the different servers vary. The last thing I was going to ask you, mate, was your headset. How's it going? Because you've got a new headset, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. I am very happy, shall we say.
Good.
Yeah, it's very impressive. I'm sure I'll have a chat to you later about it.
That's
But,
lockdown 3.0 sorted for you.
Yeah,
oh
it's fine.
yeah, I am sweet, and it's ACC, so it kills your PC. So I can't wait to see what it's like on like dirt or something. But yeah,
And
no,
I've just
it's
seen
really good.
the server flash back up, and it is drop. Oh no, it's not dry. Is it dry?
It is dry. It is
It is
definitely
dry,
dry.
yeah.
So we will see.
My screen here is doing all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff. But anyway, I'll put you back down so you can get some dry laps in for practice, and I'll catch up with you later.
Thanks, bud. Have a good one.
Cheers, dude. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
There we are. Seem quite chirpy considering.
He did, didn't he? It's the new VR. That's what that is. He is happy
got a new
with his
gadget.
purchase.
He's got a new
He was
gadget.
like, Boris, bring down the lockdown. I don't want to go to work. I just want to play.
I've just noticed Chrissy and Danny P moved into the quiet chat of the Discord area, so perhaps it was a bit loud for some of them in there. So who else have we got? We've got Jack there. I don't know if he's out on track at the minute, so that could be worth saying hello quickly. Should we bring him up for a quick chit chat?
Yeah.
I think we might be getting a bit of feedback through one of us when we bring them in, but we'll see. Just keep our volume down. Here he is, Jackie boy. Are you there? No, he's going to ghost me on live stream. Well, Jack Taylor is here in the chat box with me, everyone, but I can't hear him, so you can't hear him. All right, well, I guess he's gone for a break.
That answers that then, doesn't it?
Do you want to know what Jack Taylor's doing right now? He's probably gone for a glass of water.
Oh, right, yeah.
Who knows? Right then, what we're looking then, we've got a few minutes of this this practice session left, looking at the timings, and then they'll be heading into qualifying 2. Now, it still might not necessarily be dry, but you can't see it, but I can see practice is dry at the moment. Let's have a look on the chat as well, because I can see if anyone's chatting to me. Oh, look, here's Heath. Jack didn't speak to me in commentary box, but he did manage to type on YouTube that he feels sad.
Jack is feeling sad. It's so funny.
And then Heath said that was amazing. Yeah, that was a good race, Kirk. I don't know if you've gone back into the game now. Another podium, another good solid points for West Midlands there as well. I think Gillick wasn't too bad either in that one. I kept kind of catching him towards the end, found a few places towards the end of the race, which was good. But all right, well, just a couple of quick mentions then. If you're just joining, if you've been here for a bit, don't forget Driver of the Day vote in about 45 minutes time, 45 minutes time. So we've got 50-minute qualifying, bit break, then half an hour race. So once we get a bit into that race, you can start putting in your Driver of the Day votes. The driver with the most votes will get the most points. Up the Potters. I don't know what he means about the Potters.
Yeah, I don't. There must be Northern.
These Northerners commenting weird things in our chat.
Yeah.
No cheesy joke show yet tonight. I don't know why I really want cheesy jokes, but...
No, I don't. I don't.
Or anything else. Anything that you've been up to over New Year that you want to share with us. This is a not safe place because it's on the internet, but you can say it anyway.
No, it's not.
It gives us some entertainment to talk about. As the... I'm just looking to see Chrissy is out on track. I'm trying to see who else is out on track.
I was
in the
just
background.
thinking that as well. Like Chrissy's just gone straight back out there. He's had a chat with us. He's obviously he did seem like super chirpy, didn't he? Usually you can kind of tell by his tone of voice what mood he's in. So I'm expecting something from this second race from him. I think he knows that he needs to qualify well because you know it's that whole thing with Dom, isn't it? You can't let him get away. You know, you've either got to be in front of him or qualifying or one position behind and make the move within the first corner. It's that kind of mentality. So, yeah, we'll see.
Heath, over on Facebook. Bono and Edge walked into a bar. The bartender says, "Not you two again." I don't mind that one, actually. That's quite good.
Yeah, let me have it.
Yeah, you can have that one, Heath. Since you had a podium as well, why not?
Yeah.
Let's go well. What was I going to ask you? I was going to ask you about Monza as a track, because it's a really popular track, and we've not raced there as such. I don't think you've raced there. I haven't raced there, but we have driven around it in the real world at some speed in some wonderful AMGs.
Yeah.
What do you think of it? Why is it so special, I guess?
I think, firstly, just where it is, it's history. Like, I think you know when you go to certain tracks and you know they just ooze that kind of passion, that history. Straight away you put, obviously, Italy and motorsport together, so that it's just kind of like, you know, it's just it's what it is,
They love
isn't
it, don't they?
Yeah, you just, you know what you're getting when you get there, kind of thing. But yeah, it's just a super special place. I think on paper it can look quite boring. I don't get why drivers don't like it. I find it really, really bizarre, because I think it's a very, very challenging track, and I think it's, for me, looking at it, you go, oh yeah, it's not going to be that too bad. But I actually think you can tell who's driving very, very well and who's not quite up to scratch. Like, it's not a very forgiving track, is my is my opinion of it.
It's I think it's one of those very hard to master tracks.
Yeah.
Like, not forgiving is probably the best thing for it, because if you come out of a chicane and you've bounced off a curb and you get a bad exit, you've then got a long straight usually.
Yeah.
And you just pay the whole way up it.
You have to get it right at every single stage, and like that was quite a good example when there isn't much runoff. So if you do go off, you're either going to get stuck in a gravel trap or you're going to get stuck in a barrier. Pretty much, there's no. It's very you're being lucky if you get away with it. You know, you've got grass that you can see it. That you literally got grass either side. It's not actually that wide a track either. Is quite narrow, especially especially going into those chicanes. You've got to learn when to back out, haven't you? You've got to know when to go, right, okay, and then go again. But I think there's a lot of opportunities for overtakes.
Yeah, and that's my favourite thing about it personally, is that because you have such long straights, you get opportunities for overstream. I said something in my ear then. Slipstreams, and then drivers can then slipstream up to each other, get overtakes, and you tend to get packs of cars running closely together more than you would anywhere else. Even in Formula One, you can see some pretty last-minute lunges into the chicane where they've just got a big draft the whole way up the straight. So the GT3 cars get that a bit, because the big rear wing generates quite a lot of downforce and drag and holds the car back. When you're then behind somebody, you're getting a lot less of that. We're watching the testing stream. You can see Chrissy getting a little bit on the edge. But yeah, so that adds a really interesting dynamic to it. And it helps drivers that might be a few temps off just latch onto a car that's quicker than them, because they get that slipstream up the straight. So it actually brings the pack closer together in some respects, providing they can get away together. Give someone a gap and they're good here, then they will go. But if you can stick with them, that will really help kind of just tow you along as such. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it as a dry race. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it stays dry now for the next couple of sessions. It simulates a race weekend, the game. So generally, if it's dry in testing, it's likely to be dry for qualifying the race, but not definitely. So we shall see.
So yeah, again, sorry, I'm just like staring at the timing. So it's just free practice at the moment. Chrissy's going to be working on his setup, but he looks like he's pushing, doesn't he? Like, you can see that.
Just waiting for him to cross the line.
Yeah. His last lap was just a second off of Dom, and then he's just responded to that. And it's so pixelated, so it's really difficult. It's like a couple of tenths off, I think.
Dry lap times round here are dipping into the 47s if you're a good driver. The absolute pro aliens, whatever, are like 46s, but a 47 is good. Is really good. A 48 something, a 1 minute 48 is good. And at the minute, the fastest in practice, looking at the screen, is a 49.2. So that's around where they're going to be. They're going to get a bit quicker than that, but I know Chrissy can be into those low 48s, early 47s. So he's got a bit of time. I think in the dry, this is going to be a nice close race. Him and Dominic Stallman are fighting for this championship. There'll be a few points in it now where Dom's just took a chunk of points out of Chrissy. He had an 8-point lead before. He's now a few points behind. So it's all kind of to play for. And we've still got another couple of tracks left after this. Actually, one more track left after this. So it will actually all heat up. So we've got this race and then a double points race at Imola in a couple of weeks' time. So that'll be where we wrap this up. Yeah, 90-minute race. So double points for 3 times the distance, double the points. Yeah. So I like the 90 minutes because it forces a pit stop out of them. But yeah, we'll jump into qualifying in a couple of minutes. But let's just recap timings for everyone in case you're just joining or anything like that. You can see what's happening and when it'll all be wrapped up by. So it's a 15-minute qualifying session that's about to start any second. Drivers will then try to set the fastest lap time to determine the grid order, and then following that, it's a 30-minute race. So far, we had a wet race 1, if you've just joined us, and it was Zim, a random pubber that joined in to the server for the first time tonight, that took the race win. But Dominic Stallman retook the lead of the championship by finishing second. current championship leader Chrissy Palmer had a bit of a nightmare of a race, incident at turn 1, incident a bit later in the lap, and had to pit for a minute's worth of repairs. So pretty much wrote him out of the points. Had a valiant effort, got himself back up into something like 15th, 16th, but it wasn't to be. Kirk Heath, a really good run for him, coming in P3 in that last race for West Midlands Racing. And he'll be looking to go 1 or 2 better in this next race, but it's a dry race, as you can see on the feed now on the side of the screen there. As you can also see, we do this every other Tuesday, so if you've enjoyed this tonight, one, if you want to watch again, you can come back and watch in a couple of weeks' time for the finale at Imola. 90 minutes of racing around one of the world's most famous racetracks, one that they're certainly very passionate about in our group as well. And you can also get involved if you want as well. So if you want to join our Discord, you can find that on the various links, depending where you're watching, on YouTube, Twitch or Facebook. You even find it over on LinkedIn and TikTok as well. But if you want to find it, you can find it and come and join the Discord server and get involved in the chat. Speaking of the chat, we've had a couple more people talking now, but yeah, let us know what you think, your expectations for race 2. Liam might have finished work now. Have you finished work yet, Liam? Let us know. But yeah, all right then, qualifying's just started, so let's jump into full screen qualifying, everyone, and find out who's going to take pole as we prepare ourselves for the second round of action tonight. Well, there's definitely a whole load to play for at the minute then. Lots of close. I mean, even Curran will still be there or thereabouts in the championship. You know, he had a bad race there, but he's usually pretty consistent at getting points. He just gets unlucky for podiums and race wins most of the time.
Yeah, I'm hoping he's going to have a better second race this time round with it. I think he'll be close to Chrissy and Dom.
It just looks like for some reason that we lost the server there, which was always fun.
Always a winner.
Yeah, always a good one. That I don't know whether that's just us or everyone in it as well. Oh, it's just us watching by the looks of it. So I think Race Direct to Ben is getting us back in there in the background. So you'll be back in shortly. You can see it clicking away in the background.
Live TV.
The ones of live TV or live streaming, yeah. There's always something.
At least we haven't had to say yet what you're on mute. I had my first you're on mute of the year today in a meeting.
Oh, it's only your second day actually back doing meetings, isn't it?
What's bad about it? It was me. I was chit-chatting away to them. They were like, you're on mute. I was like, oh, for God's sake, I'm one of them.
Yeah, I started a training course doing that one morning, but then I realised before I'd said too much, and then just unmuted and started again. So it's easily done, isn't it?
Starts to the new year.
I've noticed there's a lot less.
Back in now.
Yeah, I've noticed there's a lot less quiz invites this stage. Maybe everyone got just fed up.
I think everyone. Let's be honest and let us know any ideas or whatever people are up to. I physically don't have another cupboard, wardrobe, drawer left to reorganise in the house. So, yeah, any inspiration. I mean, I started doing this commentary as a one-off there, didn't I? I meant to start coming every single week. So I'll put my invoice in.
Yeah, it's a big invoice. I don't know if I want to see that one. Right, I think we're potentially finding our way back into the server. Yeah, there we go. So we've missed a few minutes of qualifying, but nobody's set a lap time.
No, and again, we say this every week, don't we? The guys seem to wait quite late on to put a lap in. They don't put what we call a bank a lap in. You're under time pressure, and I think this is probably one of the things that sticks out to me massively. There seems to be less pressure in qualifying on this type of racing than there does in real life racing. I could be completely wrong, it's just my opinion, but I think you kind of know what the weather's going to be now, don't you? So that's it, you know you've got the whole 15-minute session, you can go and whack one in at the end if you wanted to and you're feeling confident. In the real world, if you're at Silverstone as an example, or I don't know, Spa, where it has its own microclimate there, you kind of, if it's looking good, you need to get yourself out there, don't you, to get that lap in.
And I mean, Spa's such a long lap as well, you don't get many opportunities to do it. So yeah, you kind of, I mean, the other advantages they have in the games is that if you go a bit off track and you fluff a lap up, you can just jump straight back to the pit lane and start again. So you kind of cut out that whole in lap that you would have to do. So you find that a lot. They'll kind of cock something up a little bit and then go, oh no, actually I'm going to start that again, and jump back and go again. So they don't set a lap. Whereas if you was in the real world, you wouldn't really have that option. You would build up to a lap, like Charlotte says, and put a banker lap in and then go from there. Sharman's heading home from work. Say no more. That's nice that he's chosen to listen to us commentating on a race during his journey. We'll do our best at Radio 5 Live. Try and keep some good commentary going for you.
Radio 5 Live and good commentary. Only joking. Each
so,
to their own.
how's I wonder how race director's doing in the background. He doesn't get a lot of limelight to say very much.
Clicking away and kicking people out of races.
Yeah. How I don't know. Actually, I don't know if he's got it set so everyone can hear him. But can everyone hear you, Ben, in the background? He said as much as he would love to come and talk to you all, he hasn't checked or tried. So no comments from race director tonight other than through me.
It's a shame because he's usually such a chatty person.
Monster. I think you should have another can of Monster if you want. Yeah. Probably stick with a sugar-free one at this time though, Ben. You know what I keep telling you.
Right, let's get back to business, people. Behave.
Oh, is there a qualifying section?
Yeah, there is. I'll keep things in order. Can we head up to the pointy end of the grid just to see who's done what and what we're kind of aiming for at the moment?
Oh, here he is. Kirk Heath, provisional pole.
86 as well.
That's a good time.
Yeah.
It's a good time. I've seen people do better, so it's beatable, but it's...
Talk about ruin his moment. It's a good
Chrissy
time.
Palmer takes pole.
Yeah, well, that was mean, though. You should have let Heath have his time for a little bit longer than that. Yeah, I mean, it's properly tight, isn't it? I mean, there's a 10th covering P1 to P3 at the moment. Curran's currently 7/10 off. I reckon he's probably got a little bit more in him. Stallman's at 8/10 off. Probably a little bit more again. Cool.
I was just laughing to myself. I just read the rest of Jack Taylor's messages after his disastrous race one. Apart from a load of expletives, he said, just so you know, if I did actually drive like that in the real world, I would crash into the wall like I did at the end as well, because he just drove flat out into the wall after the checkered flag, didn't he? So probably not the best way to look after yourself, but why not? In the virtual world, you can get away with it. All right, well, Kirk Heath is going very well, though. He's still less than a 10th off of Chrissy Palmer, and he's up this lap. What's he going to do? No, doesn't go quicker this time. So I think he's just had a good run off the last corner. You can see it's gone green before he's even braked for turn one. Maybe braked a bit early there, but will that mean he gets a better exit this time? Yes, he does. Look at that. It just flicked to green. Back to red again. Dominic Stallman a 10th off in provisional P3 at the moment, as the drivers begin to start setting their times now. Michael Curran in 5th, and then Schmidtlein, the BMW, is back for more in 4th at the moment. Roland in 6th.
And Stallman's just done a 48.3, so he's taken P1 currently.
So he has. He's just gone quicker still. Yeah.
I reckon we'll see a 47.
Chrissy won't be happy about that. This is now that duel starting to form already, isn't it?
I love that though when that happens in qualifying. One goes, one responds, one goes, one responds.
Well, Murray's made it back then after not being in the first race, so he's currently in P8. In fact, Jack Taylor's just got a slightly quicker lap, so he's now P8 and gone back to the pits. Gravdal in 7th.
Again, just to put this into context, Jack is really, really new to sim racing. He's only just over a second and a half off of pole position here. Very, very limited testing. So you can see that Jack is making massive progress. We've just got to work on that last couple of corners with him.
I haven't seen him online since the Porsche Cup races that he did. So I haven't seen him basically test this Ferrari at Monza before tonight. And like you say, he's within a couple of seconds of pole. Nearly a second and a half of pole.
It's really good effort, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can we just drop down a little bit further down the grid just so we can see where the rest of the gang are, see where Danny Price is at. I think You mentioned Murray was back, wasn't he?
Yeah, Murray's now in the server, one of the Shiba Garage drivers. There's Klimpson with his Suzuka-inspired livery for, well, it would be Fellas Racing. But he hasn't got his teammate here. We haven't seen Steez for a little while, which is a shame, because he was getting faster and faster.
Yeah, he was doing pretty mega, wasn't he?
So, I'm not sure if we've got stuck on Klimpson's car, or race director's just having a big old drink of Monster.
Yeah, or having a nap, something like that.
Or he's having a nap again, yeah.
Cool. So a little bit further down for us, Ben. Or he's just using his excuses.
Always got excuses. Well, it's filled back up again. We've got 29 drivers in the server, and like I say, there's 15 of them competing in this actual ongoing point scoring series, and then the rest in there just kind of mix it all up a little bit. Borges I've seen before. I just saw him in 26th. He's raced with us before a number of times. Doesn't seem to enter the races officially, but yeah, does race fairly regularly. Wasabi, what an awesome last name.
Nice. Mega.
Yeah. Wasabi in 27th at the moment, looking to spice things up a little bit.
Just got that. That was such a delayed reaction. Just so you guys know, you can't see him, but he was waving his hands around there.
I'm trying to get her attention.
He's clearly very happy with that one and wasn't getting the attention it deserved.
Zimmerman, we just saw at the back end of the grid there as well. Danny Price in 23rd at the moment, but hasn't set a lap time. 4 minutes to go, Danny Price. Set yourself a lap time, please. We want to see where you can go. Oh, look at this. Turbo. His name's Turbo. T-Turbo. Another pubber that's joined. A couple of McLarens have just appeared out of nowhere. Stand by and see what they have to do. Just noticing some messages coming through on Discord, which I'm going to have a little look at.
Get the goss.
Yeah. Yeah, John Kidd just spotted the incident from race 1 then, where Jack Taylor went basically up the inside, had nowhere to go.
Just says cool. I hint a bit of sarcasm there.
I do feel for him because he keeps getting caught in incidents like that, and it is like we said, you know, it is a pain. It's not Jack's fault necessarily at that point, and there's times where other drivers get it wrong and hit each other.
It's that whole swings and roundabouts thing, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, definitely. But anyway, back to qualifying for the time being. We'll look at that one afterwards. So, Chrissy Palmer then has retaken the provisional pole at the moment with a 48.1, which is just under 2 tenths quicker than Dominic Stallman, the Vegas Sim Performance driver, and current championship leader now after that first race. And then we've got Heath in P3 as it stands, Curran in P4, and Ronan Stallman in P5 again as it stands. So everyone that's all regulars of our server currently locking out the top 5 of the grid, which is really good to see amongst the drivers that have just dropped in for the first time tonight. Well, I think we should ride on board with somebody, shouldn't we? Perhaps Chrissy Palmer we jump in on board with and see a lap from the drivers in the pits. We have to do it from Dominic Stallman's point of view.
Remember when we did this last time, literally every single driver we went to.
So he's just coming up towards the end of the lap then, heading into the Parabolica, long right-hander. I think it looks like he's going to let the other 2 cars around him go. So he obviously wants to get himself a bit of space there. That car that's in front of him was basically going to be in his way in about half a lap's time, which when you're trying to set a faster qualifying lap is not ideal. So he's just backed off, giving himself a little bit of space, and now he's going to start his charge for a pole lap. He's got a couple of opportunities left still, so he can keep chipping away at that and see if he can get a faster lap.
Told you, I said I think we'll get a 147.
Who's done a 147?
Well, I haven't yet, but I'm just throwing it out there. 148,
You're not right yet, then.
147, so we're getting there. I mean, a really, really strong performance from Heath. You think about it, if this, you know, we've got a little bit, very, very little amount of time left, but 4 tenths off a very fast time.
Yeah.
Curran there in P4.
And it looks like Dom's got held up anyway then by the Nissan, I think. I'm not sure who that is. Oh. sure what he was doing there. Don't think he was just trying to warm a tyre or something.
The grass.
But then went a bit too far onto the grass, yeah. One thing that's really difficult when you're in a game like this is you don't have that kind of bum on the seat feeling of the car and what it's doing. And even with an actual motion sim, you know, they don't always get it perfect. So the car can sometimes start to rotate or come around you, or like then, you know, he's just trying to warm the tyres up and weave a little bit. You can so easily get it wrong just when you don't have that little bit of feel. And he's a driver who has a lot of feeling for the car. You can just tell by the way he manages the you know, the sort of trail braking into corners, the steering application. He's really smooth and delicate with it. But even then, you know, it shows. And it's quite a relatively twitchy car, the Ferrari. It's not as bad as some for sure, but it can catch you out for sure if you're not careful. He's quite close to this guy again then as he rounds off the lap. I don't know if he's coming into the pits. We're about to find out. Yes, he is, because qualifying has just ended, so that'll be why he's chose to do that. Well, Dominic Stallman's not going to be taking pole away from Chrissy Palmer, but Chrissy Palmer's also in the pits, so he wouldn't have been able to do anything about it even if he did. Looks like the top three have set their times. Kirk Heath's the only man on track at the moment then that's close and could do anything about it. And he's currently down on his time, so whether he can make that back, we don't know, but we shall soon see. Zimmerman is also a bit further down, but he's a second out on his previous best time.
I think that's a really cool name. Zimmerman.
Zimmerman. We've got Zimmerman, Turbo, and Wasabi all in this race.
Pretty good.
I like them.
Yeah,
they're easier for
awesome.
my what's the word? Bad dialected British brain to pronounce. When we get all these crazy names from European countries we don't know.
Like bad pronunciation.
That's what I'm basically trying to say.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's us Brits, we're terrible with some of it, aren't we? Okay, right, Heath comes in, a few other drivers still coming in. I think it's a good time to take a quick break and we'll be back with you for the start of the race shortly. And then you've got Kirk Heath on the inside in the sort of greyish coloured Lamborghini. So we've got 2 Ferraris, 2 Lamborghinis at Monza heading into the first chicane, and then Roland Stallman in a Ferrari as well in 5th. So all looking quite exciting then as the drivers begin to make their way down on the formation period. The lights go green any second. Just waiting. Chrissy looks like he's got a little bit of a gap there, but they will pull level just at the last second. There's a little HUD graphic telling them what to do. Any moment now. Green lights at Monza, and we're off. Italian cars at an Italian track. Here we go. It's looking 3 abreast at the moment between Zimmerman and Murray, just behind Roland Stallman there. But looks like the front 4 are getting away okay. Hopefully the rest of the pack can get through turn 1 without any dramas this time. Looks like I can see the orange car, Jack Taylor, getting a bit more of a sensible start this time as well, not locking up like he did in the rain. Someone's gone around just in front of Klimpson there. Can't quite say who that is, but Chrissy Palmer hangs onto the lead through the infamous turn 1 of Monza. Couple drivers potentially got caught up there, but that didn't look too outrageous again. It just bunches the pack up a bit in midfield. Curran looking like he fancies a go at getting himself up into P3 on Heath, but doesn't find a way past at the moment. Then causes himself a bit of a bad run through chicanes. Dominic Stallman runs onto the gravel and promotes Heath up into P2. So Heath into P2, and Dominic Stallman loses not 1 but 2 places there, as Curran loses a place to Schmittelen as well in the BMW. So quite a few chopping and changing going on, but that's giving Chrissy Palmer a little bit of breathing space now. And as the timing board updates, I bet that'll be close to a couple of seconds, if not more. What do you think of that for an opening half a lap?
Yeah, I think overall that was pretty clear. I think, yeah, sort of the top of the middle of the pack, because it's a really big grid that we've got this evening, got a little bit tangled up, but I think it was almost kind of at a slow enough speed that it allowed others to kind of navigate their way around there. So hopefully it hasn't been too detrimental to anyone else's race too much. I think it's probably worth now, just while Chris has got a little bit of breathing space, if we can just drop a little bit further down the grid to see what happens with that mid-pack.
Kirk Heath runs a bit wide out of Parabolica, but looks like he'll be all right for the time being.
He's on good form at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing well. I think he's just relaxed that little bit.
Yeah.
Settled into it a bit more. So there's Klimpson in 8th.
Klimpson's 8. So can we keep going down? I just want to...
So we've got Bedoya in 14th.
I'm looking out for Jack Taylor and
I'm trying to see Danny Price, Jack Taylor, Neil
for.
Kidd, the usual drivers. As it looks like there's a bit of overtaking going into turn 1. A couple of cars have gone round there in the background. I think that was McPuntface, Wasabi or Buller. So McPuntface, that's a hard one to say, isn't it?
Car 89. Car 89.
Car 89. Danny Price in 12th at the moment. So looking okay then.
Yeah, he's moved up the grid a little bit, so that's good. He hasn't come out too badly. If we can just carry on, keep dropping down just ever so slightly, race director Ben. And like we always say this, we can only see what you guys can see, so we have to kind of scroll down just to kind of see where the land lies initially.
So I can't see a John Kidd yet, and I haven't seen Jack Taylor yet.
That's what I'm looking for. I think John's been taken out, so just keep dropping down for me.
So yeah, Murray in 26th at the moment. If that is the case, it's such a shame. I mean, like I say, anything can happen in racing, and it's just you can have bad luck for. It feels like it. You know, they're saying it doesn't rain, it pours. If that is what's happened to him, I couldn't see that part of the grid going in turn 1 from where we're.
I mean, let's just remember though, he did finish in the points in the first race. Actually, arguably one of the best positions that he's ever finished in. So it hasn't been that.
No, he did actually have a really good, strong race.
Yeah, so credit, kind of balance the scales of it a little bit, because it can all seem a bit doom and gloom if you have been here, but actually...
Yeah, had a good points finish, that's true. So that's Borges then, at the moment in number 4 Ferrari, going through and, or looking to go through, of Rizzo's Lexus. Looks like he's got the job done at the moment, gets the run out of Parabolica. 2 abreast then, they're going to run down to chicane and see where they dare to press the brake pedal and how they leave it. But at the moment, Borges with the inside line.
Yeah, currently
this for
his line,
23rd position at the moment. You can see there's 2 abreast behind them as well. So all sorts going on that sort of mid to lower part of the field at the moment. And that'll be Gillick, I think, in the background there as well. As we have a couple more cars getting collected. That's Nagachenko and Maske, I think, or Mask, that got caught up in that one.
2 blue cars.
So Aldridge moving his way up the field. I think he potentially had a bit of a bad start there as well. But yeah, cutting his way back through, so we'll keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, it's races happening the whole way through the grid. So if we jump back then to the leader and see if they're, hopefully for InGear Motorsport there hasn't been any changes, but at the same time, so Chrissy's got roughly a 1.4 second gap on Heath at the moment. Heath is fast, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's just got into the groove of things. So that's just extended a little bit. So 1.9 seconds off of Chrissy Palmer, and then Don Storman is 1.6 seconds off of Heath. So again, I always like to kind of point it out because then we get a good sort of gauge of where everyone's at. We know that Storman will come alive. He
mid-race is his territory, isn't it?
You know, if he can get in closing distance of Heath, get in the toe, then...
I say mid-race, lap 3.
Yeah, four. Lap 3, 4.
So there you go then, Chrissy Palmer off to a flying start, and that just come from that little mistake that Dominic Stallman made, let Heath go past. Curran got a bad X out the chicane anyway. That was then compounded with the fact that he had to back off to deal with the Heath and Stallman kind of kerfuffle in front of him. And it's just given Chrissy a gap in the process. What was nice is they all had their moments but gave each other space and was able to work around it and get through it cleanly, which, you know, that's I think something you see at the sharper end of the grid in these races. They're managing to just deal with being around other cars as they run off the track and are a bit closer to each other and avoid coming together. And it's really hard to do. You know, you've not got much visibility. It's really hard to see what's going on. And I just see somebody's got a track limits penalty. I don't know if race director caught that one to tell me, but I didn't quite see it flash up. JU or Jew, that was, yeah. So not a member of the actual series playing for points tonight, but just one of the pubbers that's come along for some fun, which anyone could do at any point. And don't forget, if you're watching, you'll be able to start voting for Driver of the Day very shortly. So that will give them an extra point. Feel free to vote, whether you're on Facebook, Discord, or, well, not on Discord, Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, and the live chat. And Charlotte and I can see it, comment back, and of course, cast the votes as well for the winning driver. Well, looks like Curran's putting Schmitterlein under pressure at the moment for P4. Stallman has taken a good few attempts out of Heath in the last couple of laps. So we've got a couple of battles brewing, but it's Curran at the moment then in the very Italian liveried Italian car, the Lamborghini. Goes extra wide, a parabolica. The BMW opting for a tighter line. It sometimes gives you better traction, weirdly, in the game, the way it works. But Curran's got the run, Curran's got the slipstream. Will he have a look into turn 1? We're about to find out. Comes to the inside. Both drivers hit the brakes. He now needs to get it stopped, get the apex. Loses it on the second part of the chicane. And that is what so easily happens when you overtake onto the chicane at Monza.
I think people underestimate the size of the curbs a little bit with the chicanes. They're not ones that you can just plough over and think that you're going to get away with it. You are definitely going to pay for it. I think get away with it maybe once, but yeah, not as a consistent line the whole way through.
I've just seen as well that Davidko has also got a drive-through penalty, so that's 13th and 15th at the moment, or 12th. He's just overtaken Price by the looks of it. So another thing the race director does is he watches to see if people serve the drive-through penalty. If they don't, they then get disqualified anyway, to be fair. But so they have to serve it in a few laps or they're out of the race. You see that wonderful sky liveried Ferrari there?
I actually really like the colours of it. It's quite cool.
I don't actually know what team that is in the real world, but it is a real team. It's a nice one, that.
Yeah, I like it.
So Murray in 17th at the moment for Sheba Garage. Was a bit high up the grid to start with, but he's carving his way back through after a bad start. It was Wasabi that we saw caught up in an incident earlier as well in the McLaren. I think it was with one of the Jaguars of, I think it was Mask, who's down in 19th after a good start from him initially. So there's actually a couple of lap 2 incidents more than anything.
Yeah, and race directors just actually messaged us saying car 93, so who currently the camera's on at the moment, is causing issues. So we need to keep an eye on that. That might explain what the drive-through penalty is for. And there you can see.
Well, yeah, he's already got a drive-through penalty,
warning flag.
actually, hasn't he? So something's obviously happened there. But I'm pretty sure he just said track limits.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're just hearing earlier that he had some contact earlier in the race as well. So again, you know, if he has been causing excessive contact, then they get warnings or extra penalties. But I mean, he should be serving his drive-through pretty shortly anyway. He's got 1 lap left to do it. If he doesn't, he will get automatically disqualified.
Yeah, he's got to come in now, isn't he? He's just crossed the start-finish line, so.
Yeah, so you get 3 laps to serve a drive-through, and if you don't serve it in 3 laps, you get disqualified basically. Is the way it works. One of a few penalties that could be issued. You can get time penalties, stop-go penalties, which you actually have to stop during your drive-through, which is even worse. They're the worst ones. But yeah, either way, you don't really want any of them, especially such a fast track like Monza. You know, if you have to drive slowly through that pit lane or else it's flat out, you lose a lot of time. Well, we should probably check back in and see how Curran's getting on, trying to get past up into the front. Oh, there we are. Drew's just pulled off the track. He's obviously decided it's not worth continuing. So that is an issue to worry about. No. Curran down in 8th now. Oh, no, 5th. Sorry, it just does it come through there. So Curran's dropped to... No, he was in 5th, but he was closer to Schmittlein before. So he's obviously lost a bit of time there somewhere. And Dominic Stallman has got himself back past Heath as well, which is a shame that we missed that one. So we'd like to have seen how that happened. But we can't be everywhere at once.
I did predict that he was going to come alive again. So maybe it's not commentator's curse.
I mean, you fully commentator cursed Jack earlier.
Yeah, okay, that was my bad. I'm not going to say anything. We need to work on Jack's last couple of corners because the last couple of times he's raced, that's where it's all gone wrong. So we're not going to talk about Jack on the last lap to play it safe.
We'll just see what happens.
Yeah, we'll get him across the line before we start talking about
we just lost Heath.
So I'm just going to quickly jump into the other Discord chat just so I can... Oh no, he's in there.
He's in there, but I don't know what happened. Yeah, he's dropped down to 10th. He was in 3rd. So something's obviously gone wrong there for Mr. Heath. So Charlotte's just dropped into the voice chat with the other guys.
I mean, it's a very quiet voice chat. Very quiet.
I know a few of them did like some quiet time last time. So there we go. I've just seen that the Stallmans are actually in one of the boxes in our chats as well. So that's one of the things. The drivers use the Discord that we have for communicating during the race, so they can let each other know whether they're around each other, coming up the inside, if there's another car near them, all that sort of stuff. You know, keeps an eye on what's going on. Someone just say something.
Just like a long sigh / groan. That was definitely.
Yeah. Well, we've had our first driver of the day vote from Liam. Then Liam's voted for Kirk, and might be his teammate when he is here, but actually I would give him that one because Kirk had a stonking race 1 and really high up in race 2 as well. So strong performance for him. So fair point, good vote there. So it's whoever has the most votes and that gets driver of the day point and the championship point towards their title. So keep that in mind, folks. If you want to send a vote in for the driver of your choice, just type it in the chat. There's cars facing the wrong way as we head into turn 1. Looks like they just sat keeping still. Not sure who that was.
Oh.
But looks like Curran got through safely and so did the rest.
I know that I could see that there was a blue flag that was being waved in front of Curran. So I'm thinking that whoever that was has probably ended up being a casualty of that going into that chicane, which is not ideal, but I'm at the same time pleased that Curran is, he just needs to get his head down now. He's in, where's Stallman's dropped down into?
Oh, Stallman's just disappeared as well.
So hang on, was that Stallman that we just saw?
Possibly, yeah, possibly. But I don't think, it doesn't look like the right colours. We've now got Roland Stallman ahead of Dom Stallman. Well, we're going to have a lot to investigate after this one, just to see what actually happened off the broadcasted camera.
Yeah, so Chrissy's done what he needs to do, hasn't he? He's got what pretty much a 7-second lap. It's just lead, nearly 8 seconds now. He just needs to carry on cracking on. We're halfway through the race. He is going to start to come up against back markers though, and we can kind of see it. The back markers are causing issues. So hopefully that's not going to hold him back too much, because all that would take is a car pretty much like what happened to him with the Aston Martin in race 1, for all that hard work to be undone in a very, very short amount of time. So he won't be messing around with this one, will he? That's for sure. He'll know that he'll need to get past pretty swiftly.
Yeah, definitely. So in all that chaos then, Zimmerman's now found himself in 3rd place. As you say, Curran made himself up into 2nd out of all of that. And Roland Stallman ahead of Dominic Stallman by 4.5 seconds as we reach half race distance, and the top 5 has completely changed from where it was on the opening couple laps. So all sorts going on really in this race, and Monza never fails to disappoint with some shake-ups. So it's so far living up to its name. If anything, the dry race has seen more stuff go on like this than what the wet race did. We had a bit of a turn 1 incident, a couple other little things at the wet race, but yeah, we've had a real shake-up here, right at the top end of the grid. So Heath has found himself another 2 places higher up. He's now up into 8th after dropping to 10th, from previously running in 2nd and 3rd in the race at times. So he's making a bit of a comeback. He's still in the points, which is good. And Michael Curran's now chipping away at that lead of Chrissy's if he can, but to be honest, Chrissy has been putting those laps in pretty solidly so far. It's Zimmerman that will be trying to catch Curran. Dom Stallman will be trying to catch Roland Stallman. I think that will still be enough of a gap for Dom to pull in by the end of the race. 4.4 seconds. Only takes a little mistake from Roland and Dom to set some good laps, and there could be a fight for P4. Not sure if we'll see a fight for P3 based on lap times at the moment, but we shall soon see. Okay, so I was going to just say let's jump a bit further down the grid, because we can see Heath is about to try and put another move on. We've got 2 Schmidt lines in this race. What is it with all the Germans turning up? I'm not sure if that's just where he's dropped back from earlier, or that is I think it is the same one, number 72, yeah. So West Midlands Racing car of Heath try and find its way through. Guys watching on the stream, don't forget you can vote for a driver of your choice for Driver of the Day points. Now, in the middle of all this, there is some blue flags. There is some lap cars, which again our timing screen doesn't, in this version, give us the luxury of seeing. But you can kind of get a rough idea if you know who's who and look at the numbers. It'll be the one that's not showing up on the screen. So Heath is number 38 in the grey Lamborghini. You've got Smithline and the BMW just in front of him at the moment, and then you've got the Lexus and Vasquez behind it. So I think it's that.
Those through how they should be.
Yeah, they're fine. As car 666 picks up a drive-through penalty as well. It's the 3rd drive-through of the race. Interesting to see. Okay, so Heath Keefe trying to chase down then Schmidtline in front of him. Let's get a little bit of on board so we can see a different angle of this very fast Monza circuit. So what's the aim right now? I mean, obviously get past, but if you're Heath, you were in P2 and you're trying to get yourself back up there, what are you thinking about?
He needs to think about the championship, and he needs to think about he got very good points in the first race. He's currently only 2 points off of Chrissy Palmer, is 2nd in the championship, but we know that Chrissy, all being well, is going to sort of gain back another big chunk of it. So he's got to be sensible here. He does need to, if he wants to keep himself in this championship race, claw back some positions without a shadow of a doubt. But he needs to just play it safe at the same time. He's just getting that balance right. If I was him right now, I'd be sitting there watching what weaknesses are going to happen. If there are back markers in front, which I think it's looking like there potentially is, or there's going to be a squabble. You almost kind of need to do a nil kid at this moment and just sit back and watch it unfold. And yeah, you can see the blue flags being waved there, so there is back markers that are going to start to cause some issues. So kind of keep close, not too close, kind of close enough. Back markers there have done it exactly how they should have done. They've pulled out of the way. They haven't reduced their speed so much that it's dangerous, because that can happen. People can almost back off too much, can almost be a bit too nice. They've got through nicely there, so they just need to now crack on.
Yeah, I was just thinking they've done a good job moving out of the way, which was nice to see. Well, he's brought the gap down that little bit more. He's now just trying to find that way through, isn't he? And you've got quite a low sun at this point in time as well, so you can see at times it gets a little bit glaring on the windscreen. When you're in VR, you kind of do notice that even more. You really kind of feel like you're in the car, and that's what Heath does. He's got a VR set on, which is what most drivers do. As we get very close into Ascari, has to back off a little bit on the right-hand part of it. And he's probably going to get a slightly worse run on the exit here now, but with a bit of a slipstream, he might still be able to do something about it. Looks like Schmidline's about to go defensive, but then starts to just wander back over to the left-hand side of the track before we head into Parabolica. Yes, the car stopped. He needs to get the better traction to try and have a run into the chicane, but it's, as much as it's the most common place to overtake, it's also, I would always argue, one of the hardest, because getting the car stopped and around that chicane is so difficult. Like we saw with Curran, you know, he got the car up the inside, but then bounced off that curb and nearly ran completely onto the gravel.
I think this is going to stay like this. I could be wrong, so apologies if I'm wrong. I think this is going to stay like this now for the next couple of laps. So let's jump back further up the grid and just see what's going on there. So we see Steve Stallman's back in P5. It'd be interesting to know how far off of Roland Stallman. So Farm Sundura, he's there. So he's got 4 seconds that he needs to claim back. Stallman, R. Stallman, so car number 5 is that? I can't see because it's so pixelated. But R. Stallman, yeah, he's only 6/10 currently off of Zimmerman.
It looks even closer in the background of the shot, yeah, there, actually.
So that's probably a battle to watch.
Yeah, probably be good to click down a couple cars to that one. There we go. Although, it looks like it's just dropped back a tiny bit again from where it was. Yeah, we're just looking at some discussions going on in Discord at the moment from race 1. It's a friendly but sometimes heated community between everyone, but hopefully I'm sure we'll sort it out. A couple incidents, I think, but everyone, I mean, for Monza, we've actually done pretty well tonight, I think. Mm-hmm. I've done other races at Monza where it's been absolute chaos. I remember Dan O'Brien and I having a bit of a few pieces of contact all in one race and managed to end up back next to each other 3 times, and it just kept happening. I think I fully finished him off the first time after he'd hit me the first couple of times. Not deliberately, it just happened. But we had some good fun. So then, Vegas Sim performance between Dominic and Roland Stallman are still going to get some good points as a team in 4th and 5th. But Dom Stallman, in our previous championships, you know, he's actually had 2 where he's won every race that he's raced in. Some of them, you know, we're saying like the Porsche Cup, Chrissy got took out on the last lap. And a few bits unlucky like that, but on the whole was always putting in those consistent performances. And you can see he's been at the right end of the grid, but he's just not had that edge that he's had in other races, I would say, to just take the win and drive away like he has done before. So he's having to fight for it. Whatever happened, you know, that instant turn, I think there was a couple of cars got caught up there, didn't we? That's dropped him back into 5th place. And he's now trying to find a sensible way past his father. I mean, that's an interesting one to deal with, isn't it? How do you overtake your dad without upsetting him?
Oh, it's always going to upset them, isn't it? So you might as well just do it. I think is probably the best way around that one.
Don't forget, in stream, please, everyone, give us a vote for Driver of the Day. At the moment, we've got a vote for Heath Keith.
Yeah.
Kurt Keith.
I think that's a fair vote as well.
Yeah, it's a deserving
vote. Qualified extremely well. You know, if you can get a good solid points finish in this one as well, that'll be a bonus.
Yeah.
Let's head further down the grid. let's see what Mr. Danny Price is doing. Keep an eye on him. We haven't seen too much of him. Look at that for timing. Look at that for timing.
On Murray, because what's the rule? Sheba Garage has to follow Sheba Garage.
I was thinking, oh my God.
Well, that looks like a back marker, actually. I take it back. But he is in track position. No, is it? Unless he's changed his livery again.
Back marker.
Some of them keep changing their liveries. It makes it really hard. I don't know why Danny's not got a Sheba Garage livery on. Needs to sort it out. But anyway, there he is. So he's in 11th for Sheba Garage at the moment. Murray is track position-wise in 12th. That is a back marker between them that you're seeing. So they are, on paper, running next to each other, as always. You've then got Clemson in 10th in the last points position, but not playing for points in the championship this time. Didn't enter as part of the series. Then you've got Varquez in 9th, Heath in 8th, still trying to catch that car ahead. And at the minute, Heath's still 8/10 off of Schmidt line. So he's still looking to try and find a way back into 7th, and every point counts that you can get. And it's the top 10 that gets points. The points, of course, go up as you get towards first place, maximum 15 for the winner, which is currently looking like it will be Chrissy Palmer if he can keep it all together for the remaining 6 minutes and 40 seconds of this race.
I'm not saying anything on that one.
No, that's all we'll say. Now, what I am trying to see is where we might see some other gaps. Do we have Kid still further down the grid? Is he there?
I thought he bowed out ages ago. But
well, we weren't sure at the time.
Yeah, I think he bowed out pretty early in
a few laps
race.
in. It's a shame because he come back to 8th in the first race after whatever happened, but I didn't see what happened this time. He was around, I think he was near Murray and some of them, but yeah, we'll see. Things that we can't do in the race, we look at in replays afterwards. We can do that side of it. Occasionally we are lucky enough to have Mr. George Barnard with us in the background to pull up replays and do that side of stuff as well, which we'll hopefully have for the 90-minute special race at the end.
Yeah, it's probably worth mentioning as well, head over to our Instagram page, so InGear Motorsport. You get cool pictures on there, videos, you post all the results on there after the racing as well, don't you? So it's a good place to keep up to date on what we're doing. So if you're not racing, you're not even watching a live one or anything like that, it's a good place. Or just joining the Discord.
Yeah, and we do have some people that join the Discord that don't necessarily race, but I think they just like to come and sort of join in with the chat a little bit. And you know, we post some of the media in there. We post more in there than we do on the social feeds. So we get kind of like photo galleries almost after the races for everyone to go and look at. So yeah, there's lots of cool little bits. And of course, the guys make their own liveries and stuff as well, as you can see with that wonderful warbird looking Lamborghini there of Mr. Heath coming through with a big grimacing mouth on the front of it. You know, they make those and upload them into the game, and gets uploaded onto the server. You know, and that in itself is hours worth of work that Liam put in that case for the West Midlands team. So him, Gillick and Heath currently racing at the moment. Well, not all racing in this race, but yeah, for West Midlands team. As Heath looks like he's finally going to have a challenge on Schmidt line, but maybe not this time. Oh, please be careful going on the outside, Heath. Is he going to get the cut back? I saw the car have a little wiggle there, which would have cost him some traction, and he's now going to have to probably wait a little bit longer to try and have a go at that move for 7th place. Gravdale has been pretty much in that 6th spot for quite some time now, and then you've got the rest of the crew of Chrissy Palmer, Dominic Stallman, Roland Stallman, Curran at that slightly higher up section. I think he's going to do something soon, but we'll have to just wait and see.
Yeah, I just hope that when he does do it, it's a sensible move. Because you think he's in 8th, do you know what I mean? He can very easily end up out of the points, full stop.
Oh! Just as we said that!
Can we switch the camera view there?
Yeah. Oh, Heath. It's like he could hear you. I mean, that wasn't a move, that was just late on the brakes.
Do you know what? If that was it, then he can thank me for that, because it could have come off a lot worse. So he's got away with that one. God's sake.
He's like it's always a hard one. That is, where do you stand as well? If you, because sometimes you just press the brakes in this game, and again, it goes down to feel. You can't. It's really hard to feel you've locked up, and the thing is, a fraction of a second of locked wheels, you've travelled way too far a distance to have actually then still been possible to stop the car for the corner.
Yeah.
And
Locking up's not a nice thing.
Yeah, you cannot do anything about it. You're just a passenger at that point. But equally, if you went into the back of that car, then it's really hard to decide how that works. As someone else just got a drive-through penalty. Not sure who that was. But it doesn't look like it's anyone that we're seeing on the board at the minute, because they get a big DT next to their name if they do. Well, it looks like... Oh, it's KA.
K.A.
K.A. I prefer Wasabi as a name, to be honest. No offence, K.A. So Schmidtline in 7th then still, even though it was very closely challenged on that last lap. And speaking of, it is the leader's last lap, so I think we should go find Chrissy Palmer and watch him cross the line.
That's got really fast.
It has, isn't it? There was so much happened in that one. You can see, like, Curran lost a few places. He's now back in 2nd after a bad start, and Heath went down to 10th and has brought back down that big gap to Schmidtline and been challenging for 7th. It's always the way, isn't it? The ones that chip away at it, they do get back in there eventually somewhere. So well done to them for doing that. And clawing back. Curran especially, I'm pretty impressed with that one, to come back into P2.
I feel like Chrissy, the last couple of quarters that we've watched him, it's probably a good job it's his last lap, because he is using every inch and a little bit more of the circuit at the moment. You know, we're talking how it's not the widest circuit on a calendar that you can have. And he's certainly been using all of it, I think is probably the best way to say that.
Well, there we go then. Coming across the line as there's a parked back marker. It doesn't stop him. Chrissy Palmer takes the win for his 3rd win of the series. Awesome comeback after that wet race that he didn't enjoy all too much.
I thought he was going to go to the back on that one and I couldn't breathe.
I was like, please be looking up, Chrissy. Don't be looking down at a menu or something. Please be looking up, because there's a back marker parked on the inside of the track.
And well done to Curran.
Yeah, awesome job. Michael Curran comes in 2nd as Heath's back on the charge again, putting Schmidtline under pressure, but that was the last corner. It's going to be a little race to the line, not enough time to try and get past him. No, the checker flag's further back, so didn't quite get him there. 2 tenths.
Yeah, but what I was going to say, so it was in 8th, something's happened, so he's gone up into 7th, and the BMW was then into 6th, so he lost the car. Yeah,
we did lose someone there. Grab that. Gravdell's still there.
Danny Price ending up in the points. That's a good effort.
Price and Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chiba Garage coming in together.
Normality has been resumed. The only normal thing of 2021 so far.
If Chiba Garage cars don't finish next to each other in a race, we are screwed. We also, I don't think, have had all 4 Chiba Garage cars finish a race for quite some time now as well, which is another interesting stat for anyone following it. But they haven't all started every race for the most part either, which is also a shame. But we seem to get a few of them in, which is good. Well, last chance for Driver of the Day votes as we begin to wrap things up then after that. I always love Monza. I think it brings some awesome racing in. And didn't disappoint really, did it?
No.
A couple of drivers obviously had some incidents in that one and won't be so happy about it, I'm sure.
I think I'm pleased that in 10 minutes time I'll be off and I don't deal with it for another 2 weeks, but you guys are going to have fun with I think some heated conversations and penalties and stuff like yeah.
Well, I always think we're here for fun, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. Get over it.
I don't know about that, but everyone's here to have a bit of fun. And,
yeah, exactly.
They make mistakes, so we'll sort that out. But that's what we're about, really. Is everyone enjoying it and having fun? And sometimes you get a bit unlucky. Monza Turn 1 is always known for people making mistakes, and then it just takes a whole bunch of cars out. I think we're lucky we didn't lose half the field in that race, to be quite honest. In that first one. Well, there we are then. Now that will shake the championship a little bit. I think Chrissy and Dom will be very close on points. We'll work that one out properly. And then that will get posted out on socials in the coming days. If only we had a nice computer system that just added it all up for us there and then, that would be wonderful, like they do on big screen TV. But there we go. So yeah, if you want to see the running standing stuff, like Charlotte said earlier, you can just get involved in the Discord. The full results go there, and then the sort of main results go into the social feeds as well. So we're literally all over the place with Instagram, with TikTok, with LinkedIn, with Twitter, Facebook, and then of course we're on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook, where people are watching at the moment as well. So I guess we'll have to decide who to interview in a minute. I've just seen that Liam is actually in the chat, but he didn't join the race, did he?
No, he was working.
He was working, but he just got back and joined the chat, I guess. Well, if you're still with us on the live chat, let us know what you thought of that. And also, if you do have a driver of the day vote, we will take them for the next couple of minutes. If not, it's going to go to Mr. Kirk Heath. What was your kind of final thoughts on that one then?
Yeah, I think mega comeback drive from Chrissy Palmer. I think he just clearly didn't have the setup, did he? Just didn't have the wet setup for Monza. But yeah, stonking time for him, qualifying time, like you say, really low 48s. We didn't get the 47 that I thought we was going to get, but hey ho.
You were adamant there was a 47.
Yeah, I was adamant. Well, maybe one was done in the race. Who knows?
We can have a look at
go through it all. Yeah. Yeah, really, really pleased with Curran. I think he's had a little bit of bad luck, hasn't he? So good to see him end up in such a good position. I think it's probably worth mentioning as well that Roland Storman, it's really nice to see him back on the podium in the second race, so finishing in P3 in front of Dom. So a bit of a switch to the normal order there. So yeah, good racing.
Yeah, I totally agree. That was good fun. Yeah, I forgot to say about Roland again, but that was good. He had a good result in that. Good points for Vegas in performance, because they scored solid points throughout.
Yeah, so from a team point of view, yeah.
So I think InGear Motorsport, with Chrissy's dominant race 1 and 2, were just literally a couple of points ahead as a team. Mm-hmm. But Vegas can probably be that little bit up on us now. So we'll see. Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens in the double points last race in a couple of weeks' time at Imola. I'm just thinking about who to interview. I suppose driver of the day, and as it's looking, is Kirk Heath. So yeah, we'll bring him up.
He's always good. He always likes to chat, doesn't he? So
there's definitely not Ferraris.
Sorry, I've just dragged you away from everyone into the commentary box.
Hello.
Good evening. All right, guys.
Such a power I have over everyone. Just grab them away from their chat.
Maybe if they say something bad about you.
Yeah, if they just say, "Oh, Mackenzie's all right, not isn't he?" And then I just sort of drop you in.
It's all good, mate.
How's it going?
Yeah, it's all right. That's okay. Happy with the first race, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was mega.
Second one, I feel like I deserved the podium there, but I think I got a bit of the German squeeze there. So it was either take to the sand or take out Stallman. So I just thought I'll take to the sand, because you can't go too wide through Ascari. It's too nuts, that is.
Which I'm trying to remember back at the time. Was it Roland that you were trying to?
Yeah, it was Stallman. Yeah, I was in nice and in second. And I just made a couple of little mistakes, and he was lapping quicker than me after he had a bit of a tank slapper through the first lap. So I just about managed to dodge him. And I was just trying to stay as consistent as I could, but looks like he had the edge slightly. So yeah, we had a bit of a squabble. It was all nice and clean. We had a bit of a bump through, I forget the name of it, the second chicane, but I thought because it was a bump and pass, I'll let him go, I'll let him back through, try and take him fairly, so I did. Nearly had him, like I said, I got the overlap down at the Ascari, but yeah, he was on the inside, I was on the outside, so I just had to take to the sand basically, and then it was just try and damage limitation, recover from there. So yeah, I managed to get back into 8th within a lap or 2, so that was
well, it was actually 7th in the end as well. Yeah,
so that was good. And then 72, he was good, but he's a bit of a dirty tactician at the same time, because I think he punted Stallman as well, but I set myself up for a perfect undercut, but then I think he brake checked me just going into the apex, so I couldn't turn in. So
I think we was on board. Was that Ascari?
That was the last corner that was coming into, and then whoa, that was good.
Mackenzie's headphones are having an absolute drama at the moment.
Well, there you go. I'm not being deafened now.
That's good. And then yeah, we came into Ascari, and then I don't know what happened, but I just seemed to have the really upper hand of pace going through Ascari, but like I said before, you can't get too through Ascari, so the BMW was good on the straights, and then the Lambo was just struggling to catch on to his tail, really.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but on the upside, you did also get driver of the day, which I'm sure you'll be pleased about.
All right, excellent. Okay, yeah, great. Thanks, guys, whoever voted. That's it's always a good bonus. Helps. So makes it interesting for the points game.
Yeah, definitely. Cool.
Yeah.
And I think before my headset blows up, I'm going to call that there and bring you back down, and then I'll come talk to you in a minute.
All right. Have a good one, guys. Thanks again.
Thanks,
Bye.
yeah.
See you.
Yeah, something about my headset did not like that. I don't know if anyone heard that back, but it was just
I
blowing
heard
up.
it.
Well, there we are. So first one of the year, which means by default that was the best one of the year, as you said.
Obviously.
So that's that done. Well done, Ben. That's the best you've performed all year as race director. Or equally the worst. I don't know. You could say either way, couldn't you?
Let's be positive pollies and not negative
Positive
pollies.
in this wonderful time that we live in.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, if you haven't already caught it, we are back in a couple of weeks' time at Imola for a 90-minute finale for this championship. Based on a rough estimate in my head of the points, there's going to be 3 or 4 drivers up for the title, where they've all had a bit of a bad one, a bit of a good one. There's no drop scores to bail them out of that this time. So, yeah, it's going to be all to play for. Certainly, Dom Stallman and Chrissy Palmer are going to be going head-to-head, but I think Cara and a couple of us could be in the mix there as well. And Heath.
Yeah.
So, yeah, be good to see. I guess any last words from you, and if not, we'll wrap up.
I'm all good. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
See you in 2 weeks.
Awesome. Yeah, see everyone in 2 weeks. Thanks very much for watching, and
Cool.
we'll see you soon.
Thanks.
Ain't shitty, baby, I'm hot, like the prodigal son.
There we go, green lights, and we're off once again.
And a rocking grip, with another and what you right and sip. Schwartz is gone. Single action on me. Well, your left hand's free and your right's in grip with another left hand. Watches right and self. Schwartz is gone. N-E-O-O-M-G-G Whiz girl, you're the one for me. Though your man's bigger than I am, all my days he disagrees. Oh, no, speak easy. Well, my left hand's free. Well, my left hand's free. Well, my left hand's free. Oh, no. Ain't shitty, baby, I'm hot, like the prodigal son. Big up Bartolini, meeny, money, mo, and flower. You're the chosen one.